everybody. Welcome to Cleveland Stadium, where today the Cleveland Browns host the National Football Conference Central Division second-place team, Green Bay Packers. This is Jim Mueller, along with Gib Shanley and our producer-director, Art Greenberg, set to bring you today's football game. The Packers, coming into this contest, are 2.5 games behind in their Central Division race in the NFC to the Detroit Lions. The Browns are tied for second place with Houston, 1 game behind the Central Division AFC leading Pittsburgh Steelers. The co-captains are down on the field now, and we'll go down to our microphone to get the opening coin toss.
Call a Wallace in the air. That's a head. That's a tail. Okay? Call a Wallace in the air. Head. They called heads, and tails it is. Cleveland wins the toss.
All right, you hear it. Cleveland has won the toss and will receive the ball here to get this game underway. The officials for today's game, referee Gene Barth, the umpire Tom Myers, the head linesman Jerry Bergman, the line judge is Bob McLaughlin, the back judge J.W. Sanders, the side judge Dean Look, and the field judge, our own Fritz Graff. Offensively for the Browns today, it'll be Brian Sipes starting at quarterback. In the backfield, he'll have Charles White at running back, Mike Pruitt the fullback. The wide receivers will be Dave Logan and Reggie Rucker. Ozzie Newsome at tight end. Tackles on the right side, Cody Rison on the left, Doug Deacon. The guards on the left, Henry Shepard on the right, Robert E. Jackson starting today, and Tom DeLeon is the center. Defensively, in their 3-4 alignment, the Green Bay Packers have at ends Ezra Johnson on the right side, Mike Butler on the left, Charles Johnson is the nose tackle. The linebackers on the outside, John Anderson on the left, and on the outside right, Mike Douglas. And the inside men are Bruce Beakley and Ed O'Neill. Estes Hood and Mike McCoy are the cornerbacks. Steve Luke and Johnny Gray are the safeties. It is 50 degrees as we get ready to kick off here, and the sky, sunny this morning, has been clouded over with some gray moving in off the lake. And we're told there's a chance of some late afternoon scattered showers, but they should not be coming during this ball game. The Browns deploy their return unit. It is Keith Wright and Dino Hall back to receive, and we've got the ball teed up, and here to call the action for you once again, the voice of the Cleveland Browns, Gib Shanley.
Thank you very much, Jim Mueller, and good afternoon, everybody. Tom Burney ready to kick the football. As the scoreboard says, away we go. We do not have a sellout today, and not even close. The whistles, the approach, left-footed kick by Burney. Dino Hall at the 9, to the 10, to the 15, the left sidelines 20, and up to about the 29-yard line. Tackle is made by Mike C. McCoy. He's a cornerback, 20-yard return. Make it 19. They'll put the ball on the 28-yard line. And Brian Sipe is starting at quarterback with the brace on his left leg, left knee. And the Green Bay Packers, one of the few NFC teams that will play with a 3-4 defense. Joe DeLamiere starting at right guard now in place of Robert E. Jackson. Mike Pruitt and Charles White, the halfbacks. Browns come out of the huddle as Rucker is the flanker to the left. Newsome tight at left end. Logan split 5 to the right. Handoff. Mike Pruitt sidesteps him in at the line of scrimmage at the 30. Gets to the 35 of a right tackle. And a 7-yard pickup. And Ezra Johnson, the right end, made the tackle. And Doug Deacon threw the block to get him through.
Deacon threw the block on the outside, and Joe DeLamiere cut his man to the inside. And Mike cut right off of that inside block and picked up some yardage. Good start.
2nd and 3. Normally you can pass against the 3-4 and not run against them well, especially the sweeps. Rucker is flanked to the right. Logan split left. They're in the eye. Rucker in motion to the left. Handoff. Charles White over left guard and gets about 2 very tough yards to the 37-yard line, and Ed O'Neill made the tackle. Maybe a yard short, maybe a yard and a half. They're going to put the football down. And the ball's going to be touching the 36 to bring up 3rd and 2. Browns go to the tight end offense. They've added McDonald Oden as the second tight end with Ozzie Newsome. And Willis Adams comes in. He'll be the wing back. And he's lined up wing back to the right. Ends are in tight. They shift out of the eye to the T. 3rd down and 2. Handoff. Mike Pruitt trying to sweep left end. He's in trouble. He's out of bounds at the 35 for a yard loss, and that's what happens against the 3-4. You can't run the sweeps. Johnny Gray made the tackle. They'll have to punt.
Makes it very tough. You've got that extra linebacker in there. His responsibility is to turn in the outside play. He just strings it out. That's exactly what Green Bay did that time.
Johnny Evans will punt. Ron Cassidy is the deeper of the 2 safeties. Gray is the up man, Johnny Gray. Line of scrimmage, the Browns' 35-yard line. 3 downs and a punt. 3 running plays in the punt. Good snap. High, good kick. Back under it is Cassidy at the 22. In at the 25. Down close to the 25. Tackle by Dino Hall. 43-yard punt. A 3-yard return. And the Green Bay offense comes out on the field. We'll have James Lupton and let's make that Laughlin. And Paul Kaufman is the tight end. Andra Thompson is the other wide receiver. Eddie Lee Ivory and Jerry Ellis are the running backs. Lynn Dickey's the quarterback. Tim Stokes and Greg Cook are the tackles. Darrell Goforth and Leotis Harris are the guards. Larry McCarron is the center. We'll get the Browns defense in a moment. Packers are out of the huddle. Lofton is split to the left. Thompson's a slot left. He goes in motion to the right. They're in the T. And the handoff comes to Ivory over right tackle for about a yard to the 26. Up front, the Browns have Marshall Harris, Henry Bradley, Lyle Alzado. The linebackers, Charlie Hall, Robert L. Jackson, Dick Ambrose, and Clay Matthews. The cornerbacks are Ron Bolton and Clinton Burrell. The safeties are Clarence Scott and Tom Darden, and everybody up front made the tackle. They'll give them actually 2 yards on the play. The ball is closer to the 27. And now there's only one running back in the lineup. They've gone to 4 receivers. They've added another tight end. Eddie Lee Ivory's the only running back. They have a slot left and a wing back to the right. And the pitch comes to Ellis. Tries right tackle. 30-yard line to the 31-yard line. Gets about 4 more yards. Harris and Darden were on the tackle. It will be 3rd down and about 4. And the Browns now send Alvis Franks in the ballgame at defensive end. They pull out a linebacker. And Ivory and Ellis now are 2 running backs. They pulled out the extra tight end. 12 minutes to play. Scoreless first quarter. Lofton is split left. Both ends are split. And Marshall Thompson is the flanker to the right. They're in the T. Dickey hands off on the draw. Up the middle. A hole for Ellis. 35-40 to about the 41. Tackled by Tom Darden. 10-yard pickup, and that middle just opened up.
Well, that time they had some trap blocking up front, and the Browns, I think, anticipating the short pass, left a big opening, and the delay handoff helped them that much more, and they just got Ellis right up the middle for 10 big yards and a first down, the first one of this contest.
They caught the Browns linebackers retreating into their pass coverage areas. And they wind up with both ends split. Tight end's a slot back, goes in motion to the right. Handoff comes to Ivory, turning right end, 40, 42, that's it. Maybe the 43, the second effort. Ambrose made the hit. And so did Marshall Harris, the rookie end, and it's a gain of 2 to the 43-yard line. 10:49 to play, first quarter.
Neither club has put the ball in the air yet. Right now, I think they're just probing the opponent defense.
Lofton will be flanked to the left. Thompson is split to the right. Now they're both split. They have the tight end, the slot back left. He goes in motion to the right. They're in the T. Lynn Dickey to throw. Looks, throws, left sidelines, caught at the 45 of the Browns by Lofton.
12-yard pickup and another first down.
Clinton Burrell made the tackle. Ball's on the Cleveland 45-yard line. First down and 10.
Lynn Dickey celebrating his 31st birthday today and completes the first pass that he throws. Boy, he must have a sore arm after what he did last week. 51 passes.
They did everything last week but score points. In 5 quarters, they had 2 touchdowns. Thompson split left. Here's the pitch. Ellis. He's trapped in the backfield, trying left end. He's going to be knocked down at the 47-yard line. The Browns swarmed all over him. Bradley and Harris led the charge for a loss of 2.
Looked like the play designed to go wide. He saw that the Browns had strung it out pretty well, that 3-4 defense again, and then he tried to cut back to the inside. He met a swarm of orange helmets. No place to go for Ellis.
Franks at left end, replacing Harris. On second and long yardage, second and 12. Lofton flanks to the left. Thompson split right. Now they send the tight end in motion to the right. Dickey back to throw. Pumps, fakes left, throws a screen to the right. To Alice, he's at the 50, gets away to the 45, and he's down at about the 42-yard line. Gain of 5, tackled by Paul and Jackson.
Dickey did a good job that time with a double fake. He first of all pumped to the left side. The Browns didn't buy it, though. They had the screen fairly well set up on the right side, but Dick Ambrose came breaking through to sort of break it up, and he missed the tackle that would have stopped him for another loss, but instead they pick up 5.
Now the Browns go to a 4-man rush and 5 defensive backs. Both ends are split. Thompson's a slot back to the left. Dickey to throw with a blitz on. He's hit. He's buried at the 50, 49-yard line of the Browns. He got nailed as he went back in the pocket, and it was the blitz put on by Clay Matthews. Down good forward through. Bradley, the nose tackle, came in on him. Loss of 7 to put the ball at the 50, and the Packers will have to punt. Loss of 8.
Gib, I think just about everybody was coming that time on the defense. Dickey slipped as he came out from under center, too, and that threw him off balance a little bit, but by that time there were 3 or 4 orange shirts around him.
You and I were the only 2 non-rushing on that one. Keith Wright is back in single safety, and David Beverly will do the kicking. The ball is right at the 50. Redskins have taken a 7-0 lead on the St. Louis Cardinals.
Beverly's averaging 40 yards a kick this season.
Good snap. High floating spiral at the 12. Out of bounds right away. Keith Wright had no place to run with the football. They'll mark it out of bounds at the 19-yard line. Johnny Anderson there to run him out of bounds.
38-yard punt. He gets about a yard return.
7 on the return from the 12 to the 19. There's an official timeout on the field. The score, the Browns nothing, the Packers nothing.
38-yard punt by Beverly, 7-yard return by Keith Wright, and the Browns come out for the second time with the football. 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line, still looking for their initial first down.
Rucker is split to the left. Logan's a wingback to the right. Now he's going to split right. Newsom moves over on the left side. Rucker becomes the flanker to the left, and they're in the T. Sipe to throw his first. He's going to be hit. He throws. He got rid of it. Mike Pruitt's got it. 25, 28-yard line. Sipe gets up, in case you're wondering. 9-yard gain. Brian looked to the right, had nobody out there, and just dumped it off as he was getting hit by Anderson, the linebacker. He was actually going down when he threw it.
And I think that'll help Brian, too, because actually the tackle was made on that left knee, and that'll answer some questions right away. One difference, which won't be anything to really note unless McDonald plays today, and if he does, we'll bring that up as far as the offensive line blocking is concerned.
Rucker slot right, Logan split right. They're in the I this time. Newsom is tight at left end. Hand off, Charles White up the middle, hits the 30, and a first down to the 31-yard line. Gain of 3. The tackle is made by John Anderson again. On the preceding play, Jim, the scoreboard, after he gained 9 yards, flashed first down. Must be
somebody's anxious.
European brand of football. Miami has taken a 7-0 lead over Buffalo in the first quarter. Ball is on the Cleveland 31-yard line. First down and 10. 6:20 to play. First quarter, no score. Rucker flank to the right. Logan split about 7 to the left. Newsom tight at right end. They're in the T. Sipe back to throw the blitz on. He ducks one man. He gets hit. And he's going to be stopped standing up by the safety, Steve Luke, former Ohio State defensive back. I don't know if we have a flag down there or not. It's supposed to be orange. It's supposed to be yellow. There's an orange flag dropped down.
That's Brian's towel, I think.
Oh.
Not only lost yardage, he lost his towel on that play.
Got to get a white one. It's easier.
Each team has now been, so it's an armband. Each team has now been sacked once, and each time for a 7-yard loss.
Second down, 17. Logan split to the left, Rucker flank to the right, Newsom tight at right end. They're in the T. Sipe hands off in the draw to Mike Pruitt up the middle of the 25. He's cut down at the 27-yard line. Got a little temper flare on the field. Tackles made by Lewis. Mike Douglas, the linebacker, a little pushing with Charles White.
Lewis a little bit bigger than White, but don't be sure that White didn't initiate that. I'll tell you, he is a fired-up little ball player.
Got some famous namesakes on this team. John Anderson, Mike Douglas, Johnny Gray. Third down, about 14. Rucker flank to the left. Logan split 7 to the right. Newsom's out a yard at left end. They're in the tee. Sipe to throw. He fires it deep to the left sidelines. Caught by Newsom at the 50. He's out of bounds. Close to the 49 of the Green Bay Packers for a first down, and Johnny Gray shoved him out of bounds.
Well, what they did that time is they sent Rucker down the sideline deep, and he took the cornerback out. Ozzie Newsome came across the middle. The safety had to pick him up, and he had to step on him, and Brian laid it in there perfectly. 24-yard pickup.
Ricky Features in the lineup now, replacing Dave Logan. 4:51 to play, first quarter, no score. Well, years ago, the Packers and Browns had some monumental collisions. Newsom's tight at left end. Rucker slot right. Features split right. They're in the tee. Sipe to throw. He's hit as he throws deep. Rucker overthrown at the 17-yard line. Rucker went down after the ball whizzed by. Mike McCoy pumped him, but after the ball had hit the ground.
Brian was a little bit too long with that pass, too. Although Rucker was well covered, he did have a step on the defender, but Brian overthrew him.
Packers are blitzing quite a bit.
I would imagine we could look for a blitz a little more often for him by the mere virtue of the fact that they think that Brian probably is a little less mobile than normal with that brace on his knee.
Logan's back in. He will split to the left. Rucker flanks to the right. Newsom's tight at right end. They shift out of the I to the T. Sipe back to throw. Rolls right. Looks upfield. He's going to be hit and throws the ball incomplete. And he got hit that time, and he's back up on his feet again. It was Charles Johnston, the nose tackle, who was on him. Brian knew he was going to get hit and held it as long as possible. I think they were trying to throw a screen to the right, and it never developed.
He kept looking off to the left. Logan was running a pattern over there, but he was pretty well covered. And in fact, Green Bay did a good job of covering everybody that time. Brian really had plenty of time, but nobody to go to.
He'll be throwing, I would imagine, some screens and going to draw plays to take the heat off on the blitzes. But it's third down and 10. Rucker flank to the right and Logan out 5 to the left. Newsom's tight at right end. They shift out of the I to the T.
Packers have everybody on the line.
Hand off to Charles White, trying to turn right in. He's going to be hit and dropped for about a yard loss. They just can't run sweeps against the 3-4 defense, and Luke, the safety, made the tackle.
Well, that time they were in a 10-1, not a 3-4. They had everybody on the line. One safety dropped off just before the snap, and that's something the Browns did against Seattle last week effectively.
They put the ball back at the 50, so 3 plays gain 0. Cassidy's back in single safety. Johnny Evans to punt. Getting windy up here on top of the stadium. Good snap. Low, short kick. Hits in the 24. Bounces to the 20. Cleveland bounce to about the 16. Fans don't like the kick, but he did get a little bit of a roll out of it for 34 yards. With no return, there's an official timeout on the field. The score, the Browns nothing, the Packers nothing.
Well, we go back to action. 3 minutes and 50 seconds left in the first quarter. Nobody has been able to mount a scoring threat in the ball game. And the Packers take over first and 10 at their own 17-yard line. This will be the second possession for the Pack in the ball game today.
Ed Thompson is split to the right. James Lofton is the flanker left. Now they move both ends split. Tight end's a slot back, and he goes in motion to the right. That's Paul Kaufman, and the handoff comes to Ellis. Jerry tries left tackle and gets belted at the 20-yard line by Ambrose and Matthews. The 2 linebackers filled it in. A 3-yard pickup. 3:37 to play. First quarter, no score. Neither team has threatened yet. Ivory's coming out of the ball game, and they're sending in John Thompson, another tight end. They have John Thompson and Andra Thompson. And Lofton is split left. Thompson slot to the left. They have a wingback set up on the right with only one running back. That's Jerry Ellis. Dickey back, looks, fires over the middle. It is caught. And it is Thompson to the 50, to the 45 of the Browns, and pulled down from behind at the 38-yard line of the Browns by Ron Bolton. He came wide open over the middle, and nobody was able to fill it in. A 42-yard pass.
That was to Thompson all the way. He just came off the line of scrimmage, cut across in front of the linebacker, and he had him beat by a step. Dickey just lofted the ball out there, and Thompson did a good piece of running.
That was no more than a 3-yard pass. Nose of the ball at the 37-yard line, so make it 43 yards. Both ends split, tight end, slot back right. They have two running backs back in the lineup. Fake handoff, Dickey back to throw it over the middle, deep. Intercepted on the 15 by Darden to the 20, to the 25, Darden to the 30, to the 32, and he's down. Tom Darden got the overthrow. He was the only man open on the play. Kaufman and Harris made the tackle. A return of 17 yards. There's an official. Timeout on the field. The score, the Browns nothing, and the Packers nothing.
Well, Tom Darden has just picked off a Lynn Dickey pass. That is his 43rd career interception, setting a new Cleveland Browns club record. At that time, Dickey was trying to go to his wide receiver, James Lofton, who had gone down about 20 and made a move to the inside. Dickey, anticipating he would go back to the outside between the corner and the safety, threw it there. But Lofton continued his route to the inside, and Tom Darden didn't even have to move. He just stood there playing center field and picked that one off to give the Browns the ball back. 1st and 10 at their own 33-yard line. 2 minutes, 18 seconds left in the first quarter. That's the first turnover of the ball game as Ryan Sipe brings out the Browns.
Logan will split to the right by about 7 yards. Rucker's flank to the left. Newsom tight at left end. They're in the tee. Rucker in motion to the right. Sipe hands to Mike Pruitt up the middle. Gets about to the 34-yard line and a gain of maybe a yard. Johnson, the nose tackle. Ed O'Neill, the linebacker, made the hit. 2nd and 9. Browns are home for 3 straight games. Next Sunday, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Don't ask for tickets. And a week from Monday night, the Chicago Bears. You can ask for some there. Logan will split left. Rucker's a slot back to the left. Newsom's tight at right end. They shift out of the T and the I. The tailback is White. Fake handoff to White. Set to throw it. Sidelines. Caught by Mike Pruitt. 42 to the 45. He's out of bounds. At the Browns 48 line by Mike Douglas. Charles White threw a good block after the fake to him. 14-yard gain.
Washington has taken a 10-0 over St. Louis now. That is in the first quarter of play. They got Mike Pruitt isolated that time on the linebacker, Mike Douglas, and Douglas was just no match for Mike's speed to the outside.
Minute 34 to play. First period, no score. No threat yet. Newsom tight at left end. Logan split right. Rucker slot back to the right, and again they shift into the I. Pitch to Charles White, trying right end. Cuts back inside to the 50, stumbles, and gets down to the 46-yard line of the Packers. Gain of about 6.
Well, they got a...
Cumbie made the tackle along with Anderson. That time, Jim, they cut it back inside.
They did. Cody Risen actually got beat by his man. Cody was trying to block him to the inside to get Charles around the corner. But Cody was beaten by the man, and he instead blocked him outside. Charles White read the block perfectly and cut it back to the inside.
1 minute to play in the first quarter. Logan will split to the left. Rucker's a slot back to the left. Newsom's tight at right end. They line up in the I and shift to the T. White and Mike Pruitt, the running backs. Give to Mike Pruitt. Left guard, fumble the ball. Back in the backfield. Sipe falls on it at the 48-yard line of the Packers. It bounced about 5 yards back, and it's going to be a loss of 2 on the play. O'Neill is the man who made the tackle. Excuse me.
Well, there again, a case of a real heads-up play by Brian Sipe. He saw the ball pop loose. Mike really dropped the football before he hit anybody, or anybody hit him, I should say. Looked like he didn't get a good, clean handoff. And Brian Sipe dove right back in there to recover to keep the Browns in charge. They now face a 3rd and long 6, or short 7.
If Brian's knees bother him, it's not evident. Rucker, slot right, Logan split right. They're in the T. Sipe to throw it. Looks to Newsom. Got him. Out of bounds. First down at the 41-yard.
That's another one of the passes very difficult to cover. You've got a man with the speed that Newsom has, and he knows where he's going. Brian knows where he's going. The quarterback has to respect Newsom deep. If he should cut it back upfield, he has to stay off of him a couple of yards. And that time, Brian just put it to him with a yard to spare, 8-yard pickup and a first down.
8 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Rucker flank to the left. Newsom tight at left end. Logan splits 7 to the right. They shift out of the T into the I, and Rucker goes in motion to the right. Hand off, Charles White, right guard to about the 39, and he got hit, and he lost the ball, but I think he fell on it. Mike Pruitt fell on the ball at the 39-yard line. Ed O'Neill made the tackle to gain his 2 yards, and the gun sounds. That's the end of the first quarter at Cleveland Stadium. The score, Browns nothing, Packers nothing.
Well, last week against Seattle, the Browns, of course, scored a touchdown in the first quarter, which had been the first time that they had done that this season. Here again today, they failed to put any points on the board in the first quarter. Cleveland ran 17 offensive plays to 11 for Green Bay in the first quarter, and as we get set to go in the second period of football here at the stadium, it's a scoreless ball game. The Browns have it in Green Bay territory at the 39-yard line, where it is second down and 8 yards to go.
Will be the flanker to the right. Both ends are tight. Now they're going to change it. Logan goes to the right as a split end. Rucker slot right. Newsom tight at left end. Greg Pruitt's the halfback. Sipe to throw. Throwing deep to Newsom's open. Got it on a diving catch. He's down on about the 1-yard line. They roll out and the ball bounced out of his arms.
Oh, what a diving effort Ozzie Newsome made it. It looked like he had hauled it in. But as he came down, the officials, one on each side of him, with perfect position to call the play, said that he had juggled the football. A diving effort. He tried to pull it in as he hit the ground, but they say no, it rolled up under his body and no reception.
Yep, he didn't have it when he rolled over, but that's a hairline decision they have to make.
Tell you one thing, he was wide open, Brian, just a little bit too much on the football that time.
Third down and 8. Both ends are split. Rucker's a slot back to the left. Newsom is split right. Logan split left. They're in the T. Greg Pruitt's the halfback. Sipe to throw. Looks. Runs out of the pocket. He's to the 40. 35. He's got a first down and run out of bounds. Brian, he's down at the 15-yard line. He did not protect himself. He just ran for more yardage. With a bad leg, he's getting a tremendous cheer.
I'll tell you one thing, as you said a few plays ago, if Brian Sipe's knee is bothering him, nobody knows it today. I mean, he had a lead blocker out in front of him. He grabbed his belt, directed the block, 24-yard pickup, and that just may be a key to picking this team up. What an effort by Brian Sipe.
Joe DeLamielleure threw one of the key blocks for him. Rucker will be the flanker to the left. Newsom tight at left end. Logan splits 4 to the right. They shift out of the I to the T. First down at the 15-yard line. Handoff, Greg Pruitt. He's hit in the backfield and loses at the 17-yard line. Nobody got the block on John Anderson. It's going to be a loss of 2.
Gib, I was watching Sam Latigliano on Brian Sipe's run, and I'll tell you something. He was lighting candles down there on the bench.
It was fully expected Brian to get the first down and run out of bounds. He just cut back inside and kept running. Logan comes out and Ricky Features in at wide receiver. Second down and 12.
And that incidentally was the longest run by a Cleveland Brown this season.
Rucker flank to the right. Newsom tight at right end. Features split 7 to the left. They're in the T. Sipe to throw. There's the draw up the middle. Mike Pruitt's hit and loses maybe a yard to the 18-yard line. Mike Butler, the left end, swarmed through to make the tackle. It's going to be 3rd and 13 at the 18, and Logan's coming back in. Now the Packers are making 3 defensive changes. They're adding a 5th defensive back. Among others, we got a station break after this play. Logan will split right. Rucker's a slot to the right. Newsom's tight at left end. They're in the T. Sipe back to throw. Flags. Now whistles blow. Now let's pause for station identification. This is the Cleveland Browns Football Network.
You're listening to the Browns on Radio 14 WHK Cleveland.
Against Green Bay. Well, the penalty Well, we don't know. No, it's against the Cleveland Browns. They're marking it off. Probably illegal procedure of some kind.
False start, number 64 offense.
Well, false start by Joe DeLamielleure, the right guard. And now the Browns are faced with a 3rd and 18.
Newsom tight end right in. Rucker slot left. Logan is split to the left. They shift out of the I to the T. Have to get the 5-yard line for a first down. Sight back to throw. Looks, fires deep. Logan incomplete off his hand in the corner. He was covered beautifully on the play anyway by McCoy. The Browns will try for 3. Paul McDonald is coming on the field to do the holding for Don Cockcroft. This will be about a 40-yard attempt.
And it's against the wind, what wind there is down in the closed end of the stadium. Not as much a factor, obviously, as it is at the open end.
McDonald knees right down on that 30. 40-yard attempt. Cockcroft is ready. Jerry Sullivan snaps it. Ball down. Kick is up in the air. It's far enough. It is perfect. It's good. 12:25 to play in the half. There's an official timeout on the field to score. The Browns 3, the Packers nothing.
Well, the Browns take a 3-0 lead on a 40-yard field goal that was dead perfect through the uprights here at Cleveland Stadium with 12 minutes, 25 seconds to go in the first half. And the Packers send back 2 men on the return team. That is number 22, Mike Jolly. He is on the near side, and on the far side, number 29, Mike McCoy. 22 to Lee. Well, Mark Lee, excuse me, you're right. Mark Lee is number 22. Don Cockcroft set to tee it up. Kick it off. Sight 4 of 8 for 55 yards, and the leading rusher in the ball game. 1 carry, 24 yards. Came on a key run, and that was the longest run from scrimmage by a Cleveland Brown this year.
Now the whistles blow. We're ready to play. Cockcroft on the approach, and the kick. It's going to Mark Lee. Got it at the 5, 10 in the middle. Now to the right sidelines, 20. Flag goes down. And he's down about the 28-yard line. The flag was dropped back on around the 20. Hall and Wright made the tackle. They're the 2 who return kicks for the Browns. Got a flag drop. Let's see what it's for. It's a 23-yard return. Clipping is called against the Packers.
Each team has now been penalized 1 time. The Browns, 5 yards for a false start by Joe DeLamielleure. Packers, that's the first penalty against them. A 15-yarder takes the ball back to the 11-yard line.
Flipping on the run back, number 53, first down.
Half the distance, it goes back to the 11, and the penalty was against number 53, Mike Douglas, the linebacker. He clipped on the return.
First down for the Green Bay Packers, trailing 3-0. Thompson is split to the right. Lofton to the left, the tight end. Coffin is a slot back. The handoff comes to the tailback in the I. Eddie Lee Ivory, right tackle to about the 12. Not much. Marshall Harris made the tackle with Henry Bradley and Charlie Hall. Italy bring the football into the hash marks. It's on the 13. It's a gain of 3. Make it a gain of 2. The nose of the ball on the preceding play was closer to the 11. Second down. 8 to go. Slot back. Lofton in motion to the left. Dickey to throw to Lofton. Corner, left sidelines. Juggles it. Goes out of bounds. Complete. At the 19, we got another flag thrown on the play. 6-yard pickup. This has been thrown in the Browns secondary.
The official is talking to Charlie Hall. We'll have to wait and see. Hall trying to argue his case.
It's defensive holding. The gain 6 to bring up third down. Otherwise, it'll be a 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down. If I were the Packers, I'd take the 5 and the first down. And that's what they're going to do. First down's more important right now than that yard.
Especially down that deep in their own territory.
Holding, number 56, defense, first down.
Well, it was not against Charlie Hall. It was against Robert L. Jackson.
Scoreboard has Hall, but that's not right. Scoreboard had a first down a while ago and a 9-yard pickup.
We got a rookie operating the scoreboard, maybe.
Both ends are split. The tight end's a slot back on the right. Kaufman, they're in the eye. Kaufman goes in motion to the left. Fake draw, dumps it a screen out in the right flat to Ivory, the 15 to the 20 to the 25, brought down from behind to the 30-yard line by Robert L. Jackson, a gain of 12 yards and a first down. It developed pretty well. Only 2 men out there blocking, but they did their job.
Well, it's something you'll see a lot from Green Bay today. They're much like Seattle last week in that regard. Dickey likes to go the short routes a lot. He'll be going to his receivers out of the backfield and to flat patterns by his tight end and wide receivers quite a bit.
Both ends are split again. Lofton to the left, Thompson to the right. Kaufman slot right. Handoff. Ivory, the tailback, tries left tackle. Gets just to the 32-yard line. Gain of 2 yards. Packers are not getting much on the ground today either. Bradley and Robert L. Jackson made the tackle. Ellis is 15 yards and 4 carries. Ivory has 4 carries for 8 yards. Dickey's been effective. He just hasn't thrown enough yet. 4 out of 5. Now we have a slot formation to the left. Kaufman's tight at right end. Slot back. Lofton in motion to the right. They're in the tee. Dickey to throw. Fires. It is juggled and dropped by the fullback, Jerry Ellis, who juggled it once and then dropped it at the 33-yard line. He would have been able to get much out of that one anyway. Charlie Hall was there to give him a little push. It will be a 3rd down and 8. The ball on the Packers' 32-yard line. Browns go to 5 defensive backs. They've added Elvis Franks in the defensive line. He goes to right tackle. Harris stays at left end. They have a 4-man front. And now Ron Cassidy's in for Green Bay. They have 3 wide receivers. Both ends are split. Lofton is a slot back to the left. They're in the tee. Browns have about 9 men on the line. Now they're pulling 3 of them back. Hand off on the draw up the middle. Ivory is killed by Bradley, the 31. He just got the ball, and Bradley got him right around the shoulders and knocked him back to the backfield for a yard loss.
Great play that time by the Browns defensively.
David Beverly's in to do the kicking. Keith Wright back at the 30-yard line in single safety. Dallas has taken a 7-0 lead in Philadelphia in the first quarter.
Boy, that's a great rivalry going there.
It's a super game. 38-yard punt the first time by Beverly. Good snap. That's a good kick. Keith Wright at the 27, 30, sidestepping, trying to get room, breaks a tackle, goes to the right side and gets knocked down at the 32. He just couldn't get his feet under him to get some momentum going. A 42-yard punt, 5-yard return. Tackle is made by Buddy Aidlet and Jim Guno, and there's an official timeout on the field. The score, the Browns 3, the Packers nothing.
Browns have the ball, 1st and 10 at their own 33-yard line. 9:13 remaining in the first half. The Browns lead it 3-0.
Logan is split to the left. Mike Pruitt and Greg Pruitt, by the way, are still the running backs, and they shift into the tee. Rucker's the flanker to the right. Logan split left, and Newsom tight at right end. Hand off. Mike Pruitt on a delay over right guard and tackle to the 36 to almost the 37-yard line, and Charles Johnson, the nose tackle, is hanging on. The gain will be about 3. Let's see where they put the ball down. Almost make it 4. Ball's touching the 30, up over the 36 to about the 37-yard line with 8:51 to play in the first half. The Browns lead 3-0. Rucker will flank to the left. Newsom's tight at left end. Logan splits 5 to the right. They shift out of the I to the T. Sipe to throw it. Deflected and incomplete. Intended for Newsom at the 40-yard line. I believe Anderson, the linebacker, got a hand on the ball. Now we got a flag thrown after the play. Now some more pushing down on the field.
May have been Ezra Johnson coming across the line of scrimmage, the defensive end who got a hand on the football that time.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, 68 offense. Unsportsmanlike conduct, 99 defense. Offsetting fouls.
Offsetting penalties against Robert E. Jackson and Charles Johnson, the tackle for Green Bay. So they'll play it over. Well, they did change downs. What happened after the pass? After the pass, so incomplete, and the Browns lose the down as well.
3rd and 6. Newsom split to the right. Logan split left. Rutgers a slot back to the left. They shift out of the I to the T. 3rd down. Sipe to throw. Looks. Deflected again. This time by the nose tackle, Mike Lewis. That's 2 in a row deflected, and it's going to be a 4th down and a punt again. 8:28 to play in the half. Packers are sending Ron Cassidy back in single safety at the 31-yard line, and Johnny Evans is going to punt.
Cincinnati is leading Minnesota in the first quarter 7-0. 10-0. Washington over St. Louis in the second.
Jerry Sullivan will snap it back to Johnny Evans. Good snap. They got a rush on. Good kick. Cassidy back. Drifts away from him at the 20. Rolls to the 10. Rolls to the 8. Rolls to the 7. He got a good one up that time. And into a rush also. 8:16 remaining in the first half. Still going to calculate the kick. 57-yard punt with no return. There's an official timeout on the field. The score, the Browns 3, the Packers nothing.
Each game this year, we up here in the booth will select the Browns Chevy Man of the Game. Selection will single out the Browns player who has made an outstanding contribution to the team's effort, win or lose. The player will receive dinner at one of the 4 Don's restaurants, including Don's Lighthouse Inn. And here come the Packers, 1st and 10 at their own 8-yard line.
2 new running backs, Turdell Middleton, 34, Steve Atkins, 32. The flanker is Thompson. He's in motion to the left. And the handoff comes to Atkins over left guard and tackle to the 10 to the 11-yard line, and Marshall Harris is there to make the tackle with Lyle Alzado and Henry Bradley. Gain is about 3.
8 minutes and 3 seconds remaining in the first half here, and clock running. Browns leading 3-0. The only score, a 40-yard Don Cockcroft field goal.
It's only threatened the game. Coffins tied it right in. Thompson slot back to the left. Lofton is split to the left. They're in the T. Thompson in motion to the right. Hand off this time to Middleton. Right guard, no gain. Slammed down to the 11-yard line, led by Charlie Hall, and a lot of help. The Browns were all over that hole. Ambrose was in there, Jackson was in there, but Hall made the hit. Now Elvis Frank's coming in at defensive end. They're going to a 4-man line.
I don't know how many fans have noticed it, Gib, but we're playing with the modern-day goalpost for the very first time here at Cleveland Stadium ever.
Also got sod all over the baseball infield, and it's holding pretty well.
The old goalposts, of course, were the upright kind. These horseshoe back toward the playing field from the end zone in line.
Kaufman and Thompson, 2 tight ends are on the field. Only 1 running back. Pitches to Atkins, the running back, left end to the 13, hitting down at about the 14-yard line. They may give him the 15 on forward progress. It doesn't really matter. They'll have to punt. Burrell hit him first. Matthews then hit him as he had his back turned and slammed him down. The gain is about 4 yards, and the Packers will have to punt again. With 6:37 remaining in the first half, the clock is ticking. David Beverly to punt. He's standing back on the goal line. Line of scrimmage, the 15. Keith Wright is up at the Cleveland 46.
Brown should come out of this with pretty good field position.
Snaps a little high. Kick is away. It's a good one. Keith Wright backing up. Got it in the 35. Back to the 33 to the right sidelines. No place to go. He's going to be hit and dropped at the 38-yard line.
It's a 50-yard punt.
Mike Jolly made the hit. The return is only 3 yards. There's an official timeout on the field. The score, the Browns 3, the Packers nothing.
I want to remind you that the Browns Wives Association will continue their annual tradition of helping the Cleveland JC sponsor holiday baskets of food for needy families. They'll be collecting food, money, or whatever you can donate here at the stadium prior to the Bengals game on November 23rd. So bring your food for the Browns Wives Association on November 23rd.
Calvin Hill's in at halfback. Both ends are split, and Sipe goes back to throw it. He drills it to the sidelines. It is caught by Calvin Hill, and he's pushed out of bounds at the 40-yard line by John Anderson, the linebacker. And Brian, That's a 2-yard gain. Brian had to get rid of that one in a hurry, and it was not his primary receiver. Calvin was going backwards when he caught it and just stepped out of bounds. Redskins have taken a 16-0 lead over St. Louis. That's now in the second quarter. This game, we have 5:56 remaining in the half. Second down and 8. Browns with the ball on their own 40, leading 3-0. Newsom will split to the right. Logan split to the left. Rutgers a slot back to the left. They're in the tee. Mike Pruitt and Calvin Hill, the running backs. Sight back to throw it. Left flat, caught by Mike Pruitt. 30, 35, 40, 45, out of bounds at the Cleveland 49, 50-yard line. They're going to make it. Ed O'Neill. Meta made the hit, and it's a 10-yard gain. First down.
The Eagles have a field goal now, and they trail Dallas by a score of 7-3. That's in the second quarter in Philadelphia. Ball at midfield here in the stadium with 5:48 remaining in the first half. Browns on the move.
Newsom will split left. Logan will split right. Rutgers a slot back to the right. They're in the I, and now shift to the T. First and 10. Sight to throw. Quickly. Right sidelines. Logan's got it. Sidesteps the man. Doesn't get away with it and gets belted at the 44-yard line of Green Bay. That's a gain of 6 yards. Estes Hood, the left cornerback, did not go for the fake and made the tackle.
Well, that is the first reception by Dave Logan today, and that keeps his string of 30. I think it's up to 30 now, or 31, a couple of shy of Reggie Rucker's mark. 31 straight games in which Dave Logan has caught a pass. One more game, and Logan will tie Reggie Rucker's club record.
Both ends will be split again. Newsom to the left, Logan to the right, Rutgers a slot to the right. They're in the T. Second down, 4. Sight hands to Mike Pruitt up the middle, chopped down close to the 41-yard line. Ed O'Neill, the linebacker again on the hit. The gain is about 3 yards. Charles Johnson, the nose tackle, helped on it. Calvin Hill's coming out. Charles White is back in at halfback. Now we're going to the tight end offense. Rucker and Logan come out. McDonald Oden's gone in as the other tight end, and they've added Willis Adams as a wingback. The nose of the ball is closer to the 41-yard line. They'll have to hit the 40. It's third down. Ends are in tight. Adams wingback right, and they shift into the T. Hand off. White up the middle. First down to the 39. Needed 2. Got a shade over 2 yards. It's a first down. Logan is back in. Rucker's back in. Cumbie and Johnson made the tackle. There's an Ezra Johnson at right end. Charles Johnson at nose tackle for Green Bay. 3:57 remaining in the first half. The clock is running. The Browns lead 3-0. Calvin Hill's back in at halfback. Logan will be split to the right by about 7 yards. Rutgers a flanker to the left. Newsom's tight at left end. They shift into the T. Fake handoff. Blitz on. Sight throws as he's hit. It is incomplete. Interference. Face guarding. They played the man. It's Ed O'Neill. Fouled Calvin Hill at the 20-yard line.
No doubt about that one.
He didn't play the ball at all. He played the man.
Brian saw the blitz coming, read it perfectly. He had his man out there, and the linebacker knew he was beaten, and he just went right into Calvin Hill and drew the flag. And the Browns will crank up at the Green Bay 20-yard line. First and 10 as a result.
Number 56, first down.
O'Neill on the foul. The blitz was on, and Anderson is the guy who hit Sight. That's a 19-yard penalty. First down at the 20-yard line. 3:35 to play. Browns with their second threat in the half. The first one, they got a field goal. Newsom will be split to the right by about 5. Logan split 7 to the left. Rutgers a slot to the left and in the T. Sight back to throw. Looks, steps left, looks, rolls to the right, runs to the right, gets one block, looks upfield, still looking. Now he throws in the corner out of bounds in the end zone, intended for Rucker. Well, the Browns lineman peeled back and did some good blocking for Bryan to keep him out of trouble. Robert E. Jackson threw the one that we noticed on the field. Henry Shepard got another one, giving Bryan protection. He finally just threw it out of bounds to protect everybody. It's second down and 10 with 3:25 to play.
Bryan looked like he wanted to go left that time, and the Packers had pretty good coverage. He rolled back to the right and got the great block from Robert E. Jackson and bought time, but still no receiver came open.
Calvin Hill's back at halfback. Charles White's coming out. Newsom will split left. Logan split right. Rucker slot to the right. They're in the I. They shift to the T. Mike Pruitt and Calvin Hill behind Brian Sipe. Sipe to throw the blitz on. Throws it quickly to the corner. It's juggled. It's up in the air. And it's incomplete. Logan couldn't have it on the third juggle.
Boy, Dave Logan made some kind of effort on that one. He had it 2 or 3 times, and finally it got away from him.
Mark Lee got a hand on it. Dave got one. He juggled it up in the air, and he was going the wrong way, away from the ball. He tried to grab it one more time. Couldn't quite get it with one hand, and it just fell out of his arms. It looked like the greatest show on earth.
That's a time play all the way. Dave Logan running to a spot on the field. Brian throwing to it long before Logan arrives there. Cornerback had a good job that time of trying to cover it, and Logan almost came up with a real circus catch.
3rd and 10 at the 20. Newsom split right. Logan split left. Rucker slot to the left. They're in the T. Offside, Dave Logan. Flags go down. Rucker caught it, goes out of bounds at the 7, but it's not going to count. Dave was about 3 or 4 yards offsides. Nullifies a 13-yard gain. There'll be a 5-yard penalty.
Give an interesting point since we're faced with a 3rd down and 15 now in this situation. The Browns have converted 4 of 8 today. That's 50%. And last week against Seattle, one of the real keys in that ball game was the fact that the Browns were able to convert about 67% of their 3rd down situations.
Well, but they also got 7 out of 8 in the second half.
Illegal motion, 85 offense. Replay it down.
They got hotter in the second half. Well, it's 3rd and 15 on the 25-yard line. Dave Logan must have still been thinking about the juggling play and lost the snap count on that one. He will now split to the right. Rucker slot to the right. Newsom is split about 5 yards to the left. 3rd down play. They're in the T. Blitz on. Browns pick it up. Sight back to throw. He fires. Flag down. Newsom can't get it at the 5. We got a flag downfield and maybe an illegal chuck down around the 12-yard line. Luke was on the coverage with McCoy. Flag went down before the ball ever got there. It's against Green Bay.
Well, Ozzie Newsom running a down and post pattern, cutting back across the middle, and he had 2 men on him, and one of them grabbed him.
It's not an illegal chuck. It's interference. That's even better.
They grabbed him on a cut back across the middle.
Newsom was fouled.
Ironically, Green Bay didn't have to commit that foul because they had double coverage.
Contact, 29 defense, 1st down.
Well, now they're only giving him 5. It is an illegal chuck, so it's 5 yards, but it's an automatic first down. Right. One official kept standing around the 6-yard line. It must be warmer down there. 3:07 to play in the half. 1st down and 10. Rucker flank to the right. Logan split about 8 to the left. They're in the T. Sipe to throw. Over the middle, wide open. Newsom, he can't quite one-hand the ball at the goal line.
He tripped up on some of that loose sod down there where they put it in.
Got another fight down on the field. More pushing and shoving. This time it's Johnson, the end, and Doug Deacon around the 25. A flag has been dropped. We may get another double penalty.
That time Ozzie Newsom was wide open, but it looked like he tripped on some of that loose sod that's been placed in down there in the Indians' infield.
We've got offsetting, continuous action, unsportsmanlike foul. 65 offense, 99 defense. The down counts.
Well, it's against number 65. That'll be Henry Shepard, and against number 99, Charles Johnson. Doug Deacon evidently playing the role of peacemaker.
As usual.
As usual.
It's 2nd down and 10. The down does count. That's part of the play. Charles White's coming back on the field at halfback. We'll get a station break after this play. Calvin Hill's coming to the sidelines. The Packers go to 5 defensive backs. McDonald Oden is in the ball game at tight end, replacing Ozzie Newsom. Mack got his first pass last week. He's tight at right end. Rucker is flanked to the right. Logan is split 5 to the left. Lined up in the I. Now they shift to the T. 3:02 to play in the half. Browns with a 3-0 lead. Sipe to throw. Drills it in the end zone to Rucker. Got it. Touchdown. Flag on the play. Hold on. We got a flag dropped on the play. It's going to be holding called against the Browns to nullify a 20-yard touchdown. They're going to call it back. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Cleveland Browns Football Network.
We're the radio home of the Cleveland Browns. WHK Cleveland.
Well, we had a holding call that nullified a 20-yard touchdown pass to Reggie Rucker, and the ball comes back to the 30-yard line where it is now 2nd and 20. And I I think the holding call was against Cody Rison of the Browns.
Second down and 20. Here come the mistakes again. Sipe back to throw. Out to Mike Pruitt. Got it. 35. Another flag. 25, 20, 16.
Well, this one may go against Doug Deacon. We'll have to wait and see. He was the only man back protecting Bryan. I don't know if he was holding or...
Yep. Got him again. That nullifies a 14-yard gain.
Well, that's 34 yards the Browns have picked up in the last two plays, and they've lost it all plus some because of the penalties.
If you add on the 20 yards in penalties, you're calling it 54 yards net. The Eagles have taken a 10-7 lead over the Dallas Cowboys in the second quarter. Now the ball's back to the 40-yard line, and Greg Pruitt's coming in at halfback.
You can forget about field goal.
73 offense, still second down.
There's a referee's call. Gene Barth says Doug Deacon was holding on the play. Second down now, and we've got 30 yards to go for a first down. The Browns have to get to the 10 for a first down.
Looks like the Denver game all over again. Rucker will flank to the right. Oden's tight at right end. Logan splits 5-6 yards to the left. They're in the tee. They've got to get to the 10-yard line. Sipe to throw. Right flat, caught. Mike Pruitt breaks one tackle at the 32, and he's down at the 30-yard line. That was a second down play. It's a 10-yard gain. Douglas and Anderson made the tackle, so they get 10 of it back. They need about 10 or 15 more on the next play to set up a relatively easy field goal for Don Cockcroft. Ozzie Newsom's coming back on the field.
I think we'll get the 2-minute warning before Bryan calls another play. He just checked the scoreboard clock, which shows 2:15, and
Green Bay just called timeout.
Green Bay wants it to stop there.
There's an official timeout on the field with the score, the Browns 3 and the Packers nothing.
2 minutes and 15 seconds left in the first half. The Browns leading 3-0. They were threatening only about 3 plays ago, but some holding calls have brought the ball back out to a second down and 30 situation. They got 10 back. It's now third down and 20. And the Browns have run 35 plays in this ball game to only 19 for Green Bay, and yet they lead 3-0. Mistakes a big part of that. And 3 crucial mistakes coming on this particular drive. Browns have to get to the 10-yard line for a first down.
Packers defense has really improved the last couple of weeks, and it's looking pretty good today. Both ends are split. Rucker's a slot right. Here in the tee. Greg Pruitt's in at halfback. Sipe to throw. Looks. Fires over the middle. Rucker. Got it. 5-2-1. Down close to the goal line. First down and goal inside the 1 at 29-yard completion. Hood and Gray made the tackle. What a catch by Rucker, spinning around to grab the ball.
That time he fought off the defensive man, Steve Luke, who's the strong safety, came over, and Bryan threw it into the teeth of double coverage, and it was Rucker making the great catch.
We're down to the 2-minute warning. There's an official timeout on the field to score. The Browns 3, the Packers nothing.
Well, the Browns have controlled the football offensively, and finally they get a big play without making a mistake. First down and goal to go at the 1-foot line for the Browns. They lead in the game 3-0. We've got an even 2 minutes to play in the first half. And that was a 29-yard strike to Reggie Rucker, who caught the ball in the teeth of double coverage and fought off a great effort by Steve Luke, who was the strong safety on the play. But Rucker managed to haul it in. And the Browns are in business. Let's just hope what happened against Denver doesn't happen now.
It happens against all teams. Now the Packers fans will be upset. On the 3rd and 20, they get 29.
Yep.
If that happened to the Browns, they'd be upset. Charles White's at halfback. Ends are tight. Wing back right. They're in the tee. White in motion to the right. Pruitt up the middle. Touchdown. Got it.
Charles White went in motion, and Mike Pruitt, just on a straight handoff between the center and left tackle, took it in 62 yards, 11 plays on the drive. And the Browns send Don Cockcroft in now to try and add the 10th point in the ball game. 1:30 57 to go in the first half, and the Browns get the first touchdown of the ball game on a 1-yard run by Mike Pruitt.
Well, they didn't try the rollout on the one like they did in Denver. Shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Woody Hayes set it. Cockcroft on the point try. Here's the kick. It is good. Browns have taken a 10-0 lead with 1:57 to play in the half. Jim, it looked for a while they were going to self-destruct again.
Well, that's exactly right, because they took the ball down to about the 12-yard line before they started making mistakes. They actually were in the end zone on a 20-yard touchdown pass to Reggie Rucker, and on that particular play, a holding call brought the ball back, and then they had 2 successive holding calls that took it back out to where they had a 2nd down and 40 situation. They completed 2 passes, one of 10 yards, or rather 2nd down and 30. They hit Mike Pruitt for a 10-yard pickup, which gave them a 3rd down and 20. And on the next play, Brian Sipe went to Reggie Rucker for 29 yards. And then Mike Pruitt from a yard out takes it in for the touchdown, and the Browns lead 10-0 over the Packers. And they'll kick it off. The Packers have 1:57 seconds left to try and put some points on the board here in the first half. Browns defense has done a good job of containing the Packers, obviously, today.
You know what I do right now? Onside kick.
Onside kick?
Yep.
Well, Seattle did it. Only they were trailing, not leading.
Because the Browns defense has been handling the Packers offense. I think I'd take the chance with 1:57 and a half.
Well, we'll see how you do, Coach Shanley.
I haven't hit one yet. Well, they're moving all to the left side. They kicked it hard. Didn't get that one either. Lee is under it. Got it at the 14. 20. Hit and down. Oden made the tackle. Cliff Oden. At about the 27-yard line. 13-yard return. Chicago leads Detroit 7-0 first quarter. We have 1:55 remaining in this one in the first half.
So far this week, or this season, we haven't gone through a weekend without a big upset in the NFL. And we've had 2 or 3 of them on several weekends.
Cassidy's in the game at wide receiver. He's split to the right. They have 3 wide receivers on the field. Lofton is a slot left. Thompson split left. Dickey back to throw. Right flat, screen, Middleton got it, 27, hit it to 30, down about the 31 by Charlie Hall. 4-yard gain. Browns played that one pretty well. Packers going to line up without a huddle.
The Browns are in their bend, don't break defensive posture right now. They'll give them that short stuff.
Elvis Franks at the defensive end for the Browns. Again, same alignment, both ends split, slot left, Dickey to throw. Over the middle, caught, Middleton, hit down to 34 by Robert L. Jackson, little help by Matthews. Gain of 3 more, 3rd down and 3. 1:16 to play, clock's running. Mark the ball to 35, 3rd down 2.
A little surprised that Dickey's going across the middle with the clock like it is.
Dickey back to throw it. Another one to Middleton, got it at the 40, 1st down, hit at about the 43-yard line. Tackle made by Matthews and Ambrose. Now they'll probably call time, they do.
And they have 1 left after this.
The Saints lead Atlanta 7-0 first quarter. The Saints always play Atlanta tough. We have 59 seconds remaining in the half.
Saints trying to break into the win column for the first time. That last play, pass to Middleton, picked up 8 yards and a 1st down for the Packers. And they have got 59 seconds left. They trail 10-0. The ball is at the Green Bay 42, 43-yard line. And Bart Starr and his staff, Zeke Bratkowski. Those 2 guys were number 1 and 2 up at Green Bay during the glory years. They are talking things over now with Lynn Dickey.
Ross Fiedner's one of their coaches. He used to play for the Browns.
You know who coaches their receivers now is Larry Seifel. He did the punting and played for the Miami Dolphins during their glory years. They've got some coaching on that staff that have been where it's at, as they say in the NFL. And Green Bay right now struggling, trying to rebuild.
Defense has held the Packers just a little over 100 yards here in the first half. A lot of it coming down at the end on the short passes. Both ends are split. Lofton slot to the right. Back to throw. Dickey over the middle again. Deflected, intercepted by Charlie Hall, and then dropped. There, he's got it.
He's got it.
He's got it on the 47 of the Packers. It was off the hand of Ellis, the fullback, and Charlie got it just as he hit the ground.
Tell you one thing, that was a bad pass by Dickey. He threw it behind the halfback, and Charlie Hall came through and just caught the juggled effort for an interception.
Second interception of the day. With 53 seconds remaining in the first half, Dallas has tied Philadelphia at 10-10, second quarter. Browns will at least get a three-pointer on the board before halftime. They have their 3 timeouts left, 53 seconds. They have plenty of time. Newsom will split to the left. Logan split to the right. Rucker's a slot back to the right. Sipe looks over the defense, steps under behind Tom DeLeon, takes a snap, goes back to throw it. Looks, fires. Greg Pruitt's open. Got it. 15-10. 5. He's down on the 4-yard line. A perfect pass from Brian Sipe to Greg Pruitt. Gray made the tackle with Luke. 43 yards.
I don't think that Green Bay expected, number one, Greg Pruitt to be that far downfield, and he was moving Brian Sipe with a perfect strike. There was nobody around. And the Browns are right back in business. Green Bay is in trouble.
Timeout Cleveland. 40 seconds to play. Brian Sipe's going to come to the sidelines to try to figure how they're going to get in the end zone. And the Browns are sending in the tight end offense.
Ball is at the 4-yard line of the Packers. 40 seconds showing on the clock.
That's the best pass Brian Sipe maybe ever threw. It was perfect. Pruitt got it over the shoulder without even extending his arms.
Brian is now up to 155 yards passing here in the first half on 10 of 19.
He's also the leading ground gainer for both teams.
That's right. He has one run for 24 yards, and it was a key run.
It's too bad he's hurt. He could have run for more.
Yeah, he's having a bad game for a guy that's injured, huh? Well, the Browns will have 4 cracks at it from the 4-yard line, and they've got their timeouts remaining. Chicago still leading Detroit 7-0 in the first quarter. Here come the Browns.
Calvin Hill's the halfback. The ends are tight. Adams, a wing back left. They shift into the T. Sipe rolls to throw. He fires it to Calvin Hill. He threw it out of the end zone.
Good play by Bryant.
Got rid of that one in a hurry.
He knew his men were covered, and so he just threw it through the corner of the end zone and out of play.
Second down and goal. Now the wide receivers are coming back. Rucker and Logan, 34 seconds remaining. Second down and goal at the 4-yard line. Oden and Adams come out.
Browns have 2 timeouts remaining. Green Bay 1. And this all started when Charlie Hall intercepted a Packer pass.
Logan tight at left end, Newsom tight at right end, Rucker wing back right. Now they split it out. Logan splits 4 to the left, and Rucker flanks to the right. They're in the T. Sipe back, looks, rolls to the right, fires in the corner. Newsom can't get it. He slipped and fell down. Incomplete. Anderson had the coverage. And again, they go to the tight end offense. Adams and Oden are coming back in. It's third down and goal on the 4.
Ozzie may be changing his shoes at halftime. That's the second time he has slipped and went down on his surface.
I'm not sure why they're not running the ball. They had 4 downs to go 4 yards. And Mike Pruitt's the fullback.
The clock stops with 29 seconds now. Ryan wanted Reggie Rucker that time on the left side, and he did not break open even for the moment it was necessary.
Ends are tight. Adams wing back right, shifting out of the I to the T. Fake handoff, Sipe to throw, fires it. Newsom's got it to 3, breaks a tackle down on about the 1-foot line. They have 1 timeout left, 19 seconds, 17 seconds, 16 seconds, timeout with 14 seconds to play. The Browns are about a foot from the goal line. Sipe's coming to the sidelines. Let's see what Sam Rutigliano decides to do.
Ozzie Newsome just ran a quick slant to the outside. He had the quarterback beat, and he tried to make a move back to the inside and slipped. He could not get to the goal line. He made a good effort for it. Got to give some credit to that cornerback Luke out there too, because he made a touchdown-saving tackle.
Now they put the ball right down on the 1.
Well, the Browns in 3 plays have moved the ball 3 3 yards, 2 incompletions, and a complete pass to Newsom. The ball is at the 1.
Well, for you people at home, what would you do? Would you kick the safe field goal, make it 13-0? Or would you gamble for a touchdown and either lead by 17-0, or if you miss it, it's still 10?
They're sending Charles White in at running back. Calvin Hill comes out. Would be an indication of perhaps a run. We'll see. Ryan Sight coming back out. The Browns are going to try it one way or the other.
One yard away. That's the last timeout. 14 seconds left in the half. I think I would kick the field goal.
Let's show some confidence in what the defense has done so far. They have completely throttled Green Bay. Let's see what happens.
Ends are tight. Adams wing back left. They shift out of the I to the T. Browns offense digging in. Adams in motion to the right. Give to White up and over. Did not get in. He did not get in. He's about 6 inches from the goal line. The Packers defense holds with 9 seconds left in the half. The Browns got nothing out of it.
Well, I think there will be some criticism there of the first 2 pass plays because the Browns, with a 1st and goal to go at the 4-yard line, with a guy like Mike Pruitt, you think you got to give him a couple of cracks at the run first.
Now, you would think Mike could get 4 yards in 4 tries.
Although today he has got 9 carries for only 15 yards.
Yeah, but some of those are sweeps.
Absolutely. When you get down that close, you can forget 3, 4, or anything else. Everybody's going to be up there on the line, and all you got to do is give him a little bit of a wedge, and he can start that body of his into one of those cracks, and he's got a touchdown.
Packers on their own 1. Browns with 10 men on the field. Here's Charlie Hall coming out. That's confidence. Playing with 10. Dickey reaching under. He just sneaks it for a yard to the 2. And that'll be the play that ends the half. That's the end of the first half at Cleveland. With a score, the Browns 10, the Packers nothing. We'll be back with the halftime activities in the second half of today's game after the news and sports.
They're scoring in the second quarter. A 40-yard field goal by Don Cockcroft and a 1-yard plunge by Mike Pruitt. They had a golden opportunity in the closing seconds of the first half when they had a 1st and goal to go from the Packer 4-yard line and 2 incomplete passes and a couple of runs. Could not put it into the end zone, and the Packers took over and ran the clock out. And now Don Cockcroft will tee it up as the Packers send their return men back. On the near side, that is number 22, Mark Lee. And on the far side, it looks like a new return man. I make that out if that's 25 or 29. 29. Number 29 on the far side is Mike McCoy. And the ball just blew off the kicking tee, and Don Cockcroft will have to reset it. Browns leading 10-0, and here once again to call the action for you is the Gibber.
Thank you, Jim. Well, I'd like to know what the chill factor is right now. It's going down.
Well, I'm sure it's a lot cooler than the 50 degrees we had at kickoff, that's for sure.
I think that was a temperature somewhere else. Line drive kick. Lee under it at the 5, 10, 15, hit at the 20, breaks a tackle, 25, hit again and spilled down on the 28. And finally, McDonald Oden made the tackle with Don Good. Justin Flint is the one who missed the tackle. It's a 23-yard return.
Can't tell if the ball is just across the 28, so we'll officially call it the 29-yard line. Green Bay starts 1st and 10.
Lynn Dickey is the quarterback. His backup is Steve Pisarkowitz, in case you're interested.
Former St. Louis Cardinal.
They're going with 1 running back. They have 3 receivers on the field. Both ends split. They have a slot left. Thompson goes in motion to the right. Now he is slot back to the right. Pitch comes to Ellis, trying left end to fumble the pitch. Ball on the 27. And it's still Green Bay's ball. Apparently Ellis fell on it. It's going to be about a 2-yard loss.
Clarence Scott made a dive for it, but couldn't pull it in.
It's on the 27. It's a loss of 2. start the third quarter. Thompson will split to the right. Lofton flank to the left. Still have one running back. Dickey back, throws it, in, batted away, broken up.
Excellent
by Clinton Burrell. Boy, he really stepped in front of Lofton and hooked it away with his left hand.
Lofton has been held to one catch today. He's, of course, their big man, and Clinton Burrell, obviously everyone else has tried to pick on him since he's the new man in the secondary, but he's been playing the position very well, and that time he had Lofton covered step for step.
Elvis Franks at left end now, replacing Marshall Harris. Franks is a better pass rusher. Harris plays the run better. Now they line up in a stacked I, three men. Now they're going to shift out of all that and still go with one running back. You got 8 men on the line. That's illegal, by the way. Dickey to throw it. Whoops it. It is caught by Kaufman at about the 32-yard line. He's pushed back into the backfield by 3 of the Browns, led by Hall and Bolton. And it's going to be a 5-yard gain, but they're short of the first down by about a yard. They'll have to punt.
Lynn Dickey was lucky that time. He picked up 5 yards, but he threw the ball into what you'd call triple coverage, and he was just very lucky the Browns did not pick the pass off.
New England has taken a 10-7 lead over Baltimore in the third quarter. David Beverly's into punt, and Keith Wright's back in single safety at the 28. Line of scrimmage, 33. There's the snap. Gets the kick end over end short. Right up under it. Got it. 32, 35. Right sidelines 40. Down on about the 43-yard line. Tackle made by Mike Jolly. 13:23 to play in the third quarter. 35-yard punt. 11-yard return. Browns offense checking on the field. Mike Pruitt will be the fullback. Charles Fight will be the halfback. Logan and Rucker the wide receivers. Newsom's the tight end. Deacon and Risen are the tackles. Shepard and Delamalier are the guards.
Packers have converted only 2 of 6 third down situations today. The Browns at an even 50%, 5 of 10.
Tom Daly owns the center over the ball with Rucker slot to the left. Logan split left and Newsom split right. They shift out of the I into the T. Pitch to Mike Pruitt, right end, caught in the backfield. Boys, the sweeps aren't working. Butler knocked them out of bounds at about the 39-yard line, loss of 4. Sooner or later, they're going to figure out that the sweeps don't work against the Packers.
Well, they try to loosen up the inside defense with those wide runs, but you take a big chance, and right there is why you lose yardage almost every time.
Calvin Hill's in at halfback. Both ends are split again, and Rucker is slot to the left. Newsom is split to the right side, and Logan to the left. They're in the T. Sight back to throw. And looks. Rolls to the right. He's hit. He's on his feet. He throws it back against the grain to Rucker. Got it. Spins away at the 43 and is pulled down by Estes Hood, the left cornerback, at about the 43-yard line.
He gets the 4 yards back, and that's about all.
Well, the referee had his eyes zeroed in right on Doug Deacon blocking Ezra Johnson, watched him every step of the way, like he was waiting to call something. Third down and 10. Newsom will split to the left, about 4 yards. Logan 7 to the right. Rucker slot to the right. Shift out of the I to the T. Third down and 10. Sight back to throw. Right sidelines. Rucker got it. Out of bounds. It is caught at the 43 of the Packers. First down. Wood on the coverage.
He needed 10. He got 14 on the play. First down, Browns. Another one of those little quick out patterns. It's so tough to cover. He had Ozzie Newsome short on that route, and then he had Reggie Rucker coming in behind him about 6 yards deeper. Cornerback can't play both men, and if the safety doesn't get over there in time, you've got a completion. That's exactly what happened that time.
Ball at at the 43-yard line. Newsom splits about 3 yards to the right. Logan split left, and Rucker slot to the left. They shift out of the I to the T. Hill still in at halfback. Sipe to throw. Right side lines. Caught. Newsom one-hands it. Goes out of bounds at the 36. Gray on the tackle. Ozzie catches just about everything in reach.
Ball was thrown a little bit behind Ozzie that time, but it didn't make any difference. He reached around and one-armed it. 7-yard gain.
Willis Adams in the ball game, replacing Reggie Rucker.
Newsom has now caught 4 passes for 41 yards in the game. One of his most productive afternoons this season.
Second down, 2. Ball on the Green Bay 36. Newsom split right. Logan split left. Adams slot back to the left. They shift into the T. Sipe to throw it again. Mike Pruitt got it. 30. Down on about the 27-yard line. 9 yards. First down. O'Neill and Allerman made the tackle. The 2 inside linebackers. Seems almost every play, players from both sides are talking to each other. They're very unhappy.
Packers are a little more unhappy than the Browns.
Packers' passing game is at 92 yards, and their running game now stands at 28. But they haven't had the ball an awful lot. Newsom split left, Logan split right. Adams slot back to the right. They're in the T. Hand off, draw. Mike Pruitt in the middle, not much. Gets to the 25-yard line. Gain of 2. Charles Johnson and John Anderson made the tackle. Reggie Rucker's coming back on the field. It'll be second down at 8. Broncos leading Kansas City now 14-3 in the second, and the Saints over Atlanta 14-7 in the second, and we have 11 minutes remaining in the third period. It's still 10-0 Cleveland.
Well, Buffalo has finally got some points on the board, and they now trail in the third quarter. Miami leading 14-7.
Newsom will be split to the left. Logan split to the right. Rucker's a slot back to the right. They're in the I, and they shift to the T. Second down at 8 at the 25 of Green Bay. Sipe back in the pocket. He's flushed out. Flags go down. He's hit as he throws. Overthrown, incomplete. Hit Rucker's hand, then almost got picked off by McCoy. We have a flag drop. We may have holding against the Browns again. We do.
I think it's going to be against Joe DeLamielleure. We'll have to wait and see. I don't want to call it prematurely, but it looked like he was grabbing somebody as he came through. And the officials spotted it. Browns are controlling the line of scrimmage. Bryan getting excellent protection. It's going to bring the ball back to the Green Bay 35.
54 offense, holding, still second down.
Well, it wasn't 64 or 54. So it was Tom DeLeon, the center, who was caught.
We're going to tack on 15 yards, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 54 offense.
Well, we got unsportsmanlike conduct and holding against the same guy.
That's 25 yards and penalty on one play. Something Tom said.
Gee, takes the ball back to midfield.
Well, it is second down and 33.
A whole bunch. Last time the Browns faced this kind of situation, they had a second down and 30. They got it. Let's see if they can do it here. Jets beating Seattle 14-3 in the third quarter.
Sure, we softened them up. Newsom split to the right. Logan split to the left. Rucker's a slot to the left. Sipe back in the pocket. Left flat. Mike Pruitt's got it. 45. Down at about the 41-yard line. McCoy made the tackle. They only got 9 yards of it back. It's not enough.
That takes care of the holding. Now we got to get the unsportsmanlike conduct. 200 yards passing now for Bryan, 16 of 27.
Adams in, Rucker comes out. Packers go to 5 defensive backs. Third down, about 24 to go. They'll
have to get the 17-yard line to get a first down. Newsom split left, Logan split right. Adams slot back to the right. They're in the tee. Sipe to throw. Flags go down. We got holding against Deacon, I believe. Pass is thrown incomplete. Now we got another flag. Roughing the passer has been called against Charles Johnson. Now the referee threw his flag on holding.
So he had to throw his
hat. He had nothing left.
Well, I tell you, if he'd seen a third penalty, he'd have really been in trouble.
Fouls, 68 offense, holding, personal foul, disqualification, 99, roughing a quarterback.
Oh, he took him out of the game. Roughing the passer, he's thrown Charles Johnson out of the ball game. Disqualification. That's very unusual.
He must have viciously roughed Brian Sipe. Brian's up and all right, though. They got Robert E. Jackson for holding on the play, and Johnson, who got pretty well beat up trying to get to Brian Sipe, finally saw his chance to the outside. Brian unloaded a pass downfield, and then Johnson came in and really lowered the boom on him, and I think the infraction came when he rode him down to the ground. But at any rate, he's out of the ball game.
Call them offsetting penalties. It's still third down, 24.
Tell you, going into Brian Sipe, I didn't see anything wrong with it because his momentum carried him right into Brian.
It was Greg Pruitt coming on the field, replacing Calvin Hill at halfback. The referee's going to speak again, I think.
We're going to replay the down. Got 73 offense holding, disqualification, 99 defense. Still third down, replay.
Well, it was not Robert E. Jackson. He changed the number from 68 to 73. That makes it Doug Deacon. But Johnson is still out of the ball game, disqualified.
New nose tackle is Terry Jones from Alabama. Third down, Newsom split left. Adams, now Rucker's back in. He's slot to the right. Logan is split to the right. They're in the tee. Sipe back to throw. Caught. Rucker, 35-30, 25. Down on about the 25, 24-yard line, making the 25. Douglas on the tackle. They get 16 yards. They're going to try for the field goal.
Boy, the official, as you pointed out earlier, Gib, is still, he is keyed in on one thing. His job is to watch Brian Sipe. He's watching Doug Deacon every single play. Send him some binoculars down there.
This will be a 42-yard attempt. Cockcroft hit one early in the game from the 40. 42 yards. Paul McDonald the hold for Don Cockcroft, kicking into a little bit of a wind. Snap, spot, kick is up, it's far enough. It is good. 42 yards. There's an official. Timeout on the field. The score, the Browns 13, the Packers nothing.
Well, Baltimore has now gone on top New England 14-10. The Browns leading 13-0 over the Green Bay Packers here at Cleveland Stadium. 8:47 remaining in the third quarter of play. That was a 3-yard pass from Burt Jones to Don Cawley for the Baltimore touchdown that puts them out on top 14-10 over New England. That's quite a ball game going on there.
Browns have ran 49 plays to Green Bay's 27. Here's the kick by Don Cockcroft. McCoy under it. Got it at the 8, 10, 15, 20, down at the 24. Tackle made by John Mooring, linebacker, and by Willis Adams, 16-yard return. The station break after this next play. 8:38 remaining in the third period. Browns with a 13-0 lead. Ball on the 24. Nicky brings his Packers out of the huddle. He has Lofton flanked to the right and Thompson split to the left. Now both ends are split, and the slot back is the tight end, who goes in motion to the left, Kaufman. Fake handoff. Dickey fires. It is caught by Lofton at the 42, and he's down at the 42 by Ron Bolton. First down, gain of 18 yards. Pause for station identification. This is the Cleveland Browns Football Network.
You're tuned to the home of the Browns, Radio 14 WHK Cleveland.
First and 10. Both ends are split. Slot back in motion to the left, the tight end. Pitch comes to Middleton, trying right end. Tripped down by Charlie Hall at the 47, almost the 48-yard line. Gain of about 4 yards. We're halfway through the third period. The Browns defensive unit has gone now 10 and a half periods without giving up a touchdown.
Give that last field goal by Don Cockcroft, his 35th point of the season, giving him a career total of 1,031, tying him for 8th place on the all-time NFL scoring list with Bruce Gossett.
Lofton split to the left. Thompson flanked right. Handoff. It comes to Middleton, trying right tackle to the 50-yard line. Now a flag has been thrown after the tackle in the pile-up. Gain of 3. Ambrose and Matthews were on the stop.
They're going to call it against Robert L. Jackson.
Personal foul, late hit number 56 defense.
Personal foul against Robert L. Jackson after the hit.
Well, there's been a lot of bad feelings in this game by both teams. Now the penalty goes down to the Browns 35. That should be Green Bay's deepest penetration of the ball game. Jackson's coming out to get a little rest and to simmer down a bit. Odom has gone in the ball game, a rookie.
Again, we're told Brian Sipe suffered a bruised rib on that last play, but he'll be back in the ball game. The last play where he was hit by Johnson was thrown out.
They were taping him a couple of minutes ago on the sidelines. They're in the I formation. Both ends are split. Tight end is a slot back in motion to the right. Fake handoff. Screen to the left. Middleton. He's going to be hit and dropped by Ambrose on the 39-yard line.
Dick Ambrose reading the play all the way. Knife between the defensive end and the blocker and pulled him down. Loss of 4.
Now they put the ball right on the 40, so it's a loss of 5. And Elvis Franks has gone in at defensive end, and Robert L. Jackson's back in at linebacker. They're sending in another receiver, John Thompson, pulling out a running back. He's brought in a play to Lynn Dickey. Second down, 15 to go at the 40. Lofton will be the flanker to the left. Got 2 flankers, 2 tight ends. Back to throw. Dickey with a blitz on. Throws it deep. It is caught on a beautiful catch by Lofton at the 10. He stopped at the 10-yard line. He tried to get back up, but he was down 30 yards. What a grab over the hands of Clinton Burrell, who was up for the ball with him.
Burrell had him covered all the way and timed his leap pretty well. Dickey, reading the blitz, just lofted it down to Lofton. And Lofton just got a foot or 2 higher than Burrell did.
Lofton's an outstanding receiver.
He was pretty well shut down in the first half, only 1 catch. He's made 2 big ones here in the second half.
Ball's on the 10. Now make it the 9-yard line. Lofton is split to the left. Thompson is flanked to the right. They're in the T. Hand off. Middleton, right tackle to the 7. Turdell, Middleton, hit by Ambrose and Jackson in the middle. Gets about 2. See where they put the balls. Closer to the 6. Give him 3.
Right now, the Browns defense thinking, let's keep that string alive and not let them in for the touchdown. Make them settle for the 3 points.
Nose of the ball is closer to the 6-yard line. It is second down and goal. Lofton will be the flanker to the left. Thompson is split to the right. Now both ends split. Tight ends a slot back to the left. Goes in motion to the right. That's Kaufman. Dickey rolls right to throw it. He's going to run up the middle with it. He's to the 5, to the 2, to the 1. Dickey for a touchdown. Well, that ended the streak by the Browns defensive unit. He couldn't throw the ball. He had to run up the middle. And he just got into the end zone for the touchdown with 4:56 to play.
Well, there was nobody left home to guard against that. They pretty well had all the receivers covered, and they had the running backs covered, but Dickey, seeing he had nowhere to go, he looked to his right first, then tried to go back to his left. The Browns had him all covered, and he just cut right back up through the middle and got in from 7 yards out.
4:56 remaining. Now you see how much that personal foul 15-yard penalty meant. Point try by Tom Burney, left-footed. Kick is up. It is good. There's an official timeout on the field. The score, the Browns 13, the Packers 7.
Well, the Packers are finally on the board with 4:56 remaining in the third quarter, and it's a ball game again, 13-7. Browns lead. The Packers went 76 yards in 7 plays for their touchdown, a 7-yard run by Lynn Dickey, the quarterback. There were 2 key plays on that, a 30-yard pass from Dickey to Lofton, but more importantly, an unnecessary roughness call against Robert L. Jackson that gave him the ball deep in Browns territory.
Here's the kick. Keith Wright's under it. At the 3, he's to the 10, left sidelines, 15 to the 20, spun down at the 20-yard line, grabbed by the jersey by Jim Gueno, and he's wrestled to the ground, 17-yard return. And somebody is still down. It's one of their tight ends, John Thompson, holding his right knee. Well, we have an official timeout on the field. The score is the Browns 13 and the Packers 7.
Well, the medical staff for Green Bay still administering to their fallen player right at the 20-yard line, which is where the Browns will take over now. With 4:46 left in the third period, they lead 13-7. The Packers have just come back to put their first points on the board, virtue of a 7-yard run by quarterback Lynn Dickey. And Thompson is now being helped to his feet, and he'll have the weight supported on that right knee, which is what appears to be injured. Seattle has come back. Green returned a blocked punt for a touchdown, and it is now 14-10, the Jets. That's in the third quarter. And here's another score. Denver leading Kansas City 14-6. That is late in the second period. Brian Sipe brings out the play from the bench, or at least what may be the play he'll call in the huddle, and the Browns offense is not through for the day. This is a ball game once again. A touchdown would put Green Bay ahead, so the Browns have got to get some points. Miami still leading Buffalo 14-7 in the third quarter. Cincinnati still leading Minnesota 7-0 in the third quarter. Dallas and Philadelphia are tied at 10-all in the third. Washington over St. Louis 23-0 in the third. And that punt return by Green was 53 yards for the touchdown.
Calvin Hill's the halfback. The Browns have both ends split. Logan to the right, Newsom to the left. Rutgers a slot to the right. They shift out of the I to the T. Brian Sipe hands the ball to Mike Pruitt up the middle. Fumble the ball. Green Bay's rolling loose. Green Bay's got it on the 29-yard line. And now things have reversed, and the momentum has swung to the Green Bay Packers. Anderson, the linebacker, recovered. That's the second fumble by Mike Pruitt today. Browns recovered the first one, but this time it's Green Bay's ball on the Browns' 29-yard line. The Packers trail by 6.
Well, the defense is going to be called right back out onto the field, and now they are really going to have to get their backs up. Green Bay with excellent field position at the Browns' 29-yard line, and as we just got through saying, a touchdown will put them ahead.
So Browns errors again. On the first touchdown, it was a 15-yard personal foul that got him that much closer to the goal line. Now a fumble on the first play. Lofton splits to the left, Thompson flanked to the right. They're in the I. Fake handoff, pass thrown deep to Lofton. Got it, hit at the 10. Boy, he's got some hands. Knocked down by Burrell, 19 yards, a deep slant pattern, and the Packers are threatening to go into the lead. They were lethargic for the first half, and the Browns helped them a bit with that 15-yard penalty on the preceding series, and now a fumble's given them new life.
Well, it's often the case. Something like that will turn the ball game around.
They can get a first down about 2 inches from the goal line in case they need it. Thompson flank to the right. Lofton splits 5 to the left. They're in the tee. Hand off, Middleton, right tackle, chopped down to the 8. Hit down by Robert L. Jackson. Gain of 2. Second down and goal. 3:48 to play, third quarter. Chilly day at Cleveland.
And getting colder. For Browns fans, anyway.
Second down, 8 to go. Now they'll have Thompson split to the left. Lofton will be flanked to the left. Kaufman tied it right in. Lofton goes in motion to the right. Dickey to throw. Throws it to Lofton. Got it at the 4. Hit down at about the 4. Maybe the 3. It is the 3-yard line. Tackled by Ron Bolton. It is a 5-yard pickup. It is third down and 3 at the 3. They can still get a first down a few inches from the goal line.
Bolton came across covering Lofton, who was in motion on that play. Browns are going to send in some extra folks to help out now.
Green Bay sending in a tackle, Shanky, who will be playing as a tight end. Third down and 3. The running backs are Middleton and Ellis. Ends are in tight. Wing back to the right. Hand off. Middleton, left tackle. Hit at the 3-2. Down close to the goal line. They said he was in. No, he changed his mind.
Well, let's see if he has got a first down. That's going to be the other key.
Yeah, he's not in. I don't know why he put his hands up in the air. He was hit and went down before he hit the goal line. He should be down. However, they may have a first down out of this. It's that close to the goal line.
If they have a first down, then they've got 4 cracks to go about an inch.
No touchdown. No touchdown. He was down by contact on the 1-foot line. We're going to measure.
They're going to measure for the first down.
From here, it looks like he's got the first down because the nose of that ball where they've got it right now is actually almost touching the end zone.
Yeah, I'm sure they have a first down. They're going to have 4 cracks to go into the lead.
That time he was hit a couple of times and almost stopped and got away, fought his way off the tackles.
Dick Ambrose couldn't hang on to him. It is a first down. They've got 4 downs to go about 6 inches. This game has really turned around in the last couple of minutes.
I'm sure a lot is going to go back and be said about that possession where the Browns had it first and goal to go from the 4-yard line just before halftime, but that's past tense now, and all we got to worry about is what happens from here out.
Browns defense digging in. Ellis and Middleton again are the running backs. Ends are in tight, wing left. Ellis up. Did not get in. Did not get in. Ambrose and Jackson hit him. He tried to go up and over the top, but they slammed him down inches from the goal line again.
Well, the Browns did it against Seattle last week. Let's see if they can do it here.
It's an awful lot to ask a defense to hold them 6 inches from the goal line. They can try 4 times. Remaining, clock's running, third quarter. Ends are tight again. Wing left, they're in the tee. Ellis, touchdown. Up and over the top. He just got over the plane of the goal line. Browns say no, but the officials are standing right along the line, and the ball has to touch that imaginary line straight up from the goal line.
Well, that time what they did, they had Robert Jackson and Dick Ambrose back about 4 yards. Their job just to come forward and meet the runner, and they were both there, but Ellis edged them into the end zone, just ahead of their contact.
We've got a tie ball game with 1:46 left in the third, and Tom Burney, who missed 2 big field goals at Tampa Bay last week, left-footed kicker, can put the Packers ahead for the first time in this ball game. Snap, spot, kicks up in the air, and it is good. There's an official timeout on the field. The score, the Packers 14, the Browns 13.
Well, a minute 46 remaining in the third quarter, and Green Bay completely shut down for the first half of this ball game. Has taken the lead 14-13. They went 29 yards in 6 plays following the recovery of a Mike Pruitt fumble, and Ellis took it in from a yard out, actually inches out, and it is now 14-13. Packers kicking off to the Browns. Hall and Wright back to receive.
Here's the kick. It's well hit. Keith Wright under it. At the 6, 10, 15, 20. Down, not the 20, to 17. Jim Gueno again made the tackle. Lathrop helped on it. Well, they're asking the Browns offense to go to work again. Last time the Browns had it, first play, they fumbled. Ball now is on the Cleveland 17-yard line. Browns missed a chance, got nothing at the end of the first half. On a first down at the 4, they ran 3 passes and then a running play from the 1. Newsom is split to the left, Logan split to the right, Rucker slot back to the right, Calvin Hill's the halfback, and they shift into the T. Sipe the throw. Hill's got it, 22, 25, down at the 28. Should be just about enough for the first down. Cumbie made the tackle. It's a gain of 11. It's a first down.
Brian now trying to move the Browns out of the shadow of the goalpost and get some working room on the field.
October 20th issue of Sports Illustrated has a feature story on Calvin Hill. We have a minute 10 to play in the third period. Logan split to the left, Rucker flanked to the right, Newsom tight at right end, and they shift into the T. Give to Mike Pruitt. Left guard breaks a tackle to 30, 35, down to 36. Good run by Mike. Gain of 8. And Douglas made the tackle. It's a run just to keep him honest, I think. Now 1 or 2 more plays before the period comes to an end. Sipes thrown for 227 yards today. Rucker flank to the right. Logan split about 5 to the left. Newsom's tight at right end, and they shift out of the I to the T. Give to Mike Pruitt. Up the middle again. He's to the 40-yard line. He's got a first down. Got 4 more yards. Cumbie made the tackle. That will be the last play of the period. First down at the 40-yard line. The clock says 11 seconds. It'll run it down.
Well, here's the attendance for today, Gib, and it's a little higher than we thought. 75,548.
I believe that's paid rather than those that are here. There's the guns. That's the end of the third quarter with the score, Green Bay 14, Cleveland 13. We're starting the fourth quarter. First down on the Browns' 40-yard line. Rucker flank to the right, and Logan split to the left. Newsom's tight at right end. Fake handoff. Sipe back to throw. Drills it. Caught. Rucker at the 45 of the Packers. Down about the 42-yard line of Green Bay. First down. Mike McCoy made the tackle. 18-yard pickup. Obviously, that's not the old Mike McCoy used to play in the defensive line for Green Bay. Ball on the 42-yard line of Green Bay. That was the first play of the fourth period.
Give through 3 quarters. Green Bay starting to make up some of that edge. The Browns have run 53 offensive plays. The Packers 40.
Newsom split to the left. Logan split right. Rucker slot to the right. Shifting to the T. Calvin Hill's the halfback. Mike Pruitt the fullback. Give to Mike Pruitt. Left guard and tackle. Not much. Dives to the 40. Couldn't get through. Cumbie and Anderson, the outside linebackers, make the hit after a gain of 2. Mike Pruitt's up to 37 yards.
Browns scored all their points in the second quarter. The Packers, who had been shut out through the first half, got all their points in the third quarter. So let's see if it's the Browns' turn again. Right, Cockcroft got 3 points in the third. I forgot about that.
Newsom tight at right end. Logan split to the left. Rucker slot to the left. They're in the T. Rucker goes in motion to the right on second down and 8. Sipe to throw. He's looking. He's still running to the right. He's looking upfield now. He throws the ball. Mike Pruitt got it and knocked out of his arms on a jarring tackle. Just as he grabbed the ball, Ed O'Neill stood there and unloaded on him and knocked the ball out of his arms. Incomplete, 3rd and 8. That was a real shot Mike Pruitt took.
Browns need this 3rd down conversion. They have got to move down. I think they're a little out of field goal range at this point. And even a first down is going to make it kind of sketchy. They've got to go to the 32-yard line of Green Bay for a first down. The ball is now at the Green Bay 40. 3rd down.
Ozzie Newsome will be split to the left. Dave Logan split to the right. Reggie Rucker slot back to the right. They shift into the T. Sipe back in the pocket. The flags go down, holding against the Browns. Sipe is hit as he throws. Calvin Hill got it, goes out of bounds. It's incomplete. He did not have both feet in bounds. We got a 10-yard penalty, maybe against the Browns if the Packers take it. If they don't, it's 4th down.
Well, it's against the Browns, all right. The officials already indicated that, and again, it appears to be a holding call.
I think it's on Cody Rice. Packers might decline it and bring up the 4th down. Yep.
Holding, 73 offense, refused, 4th down.
Well, called it on Deacon again. Johnny Evans going to punt the ball. Ron Cassidy's going back in single safety.
I'm sure John will try for the coffin corner here. That's not been his strong point.
Terry Sullivan snaps the ball back. Good snap. Kick is up. Hits on the 5. Hit the 2 to the 1. It's going to be grounded. It's grounded on the 1-inch line.
Keith Wright made a tremendous play. He got in front of the ball once he spotted where it had bounced and batted it back. It was down at the 1-foot line. Packer wanted to argue about it, but they're saying no, the ball did not cross the end zone or the end line.
Now they're going to bring it out to the 20.
Well, I guess they are saying that you can't bat the ball back out, and I guess that's what they're
The
saying.
kick was ruled a touchback because his foot was touching the goal line. Automatic touchback. First down.
His foot was touching the goal line when he hit it. But the one official standing by the ball put it down inches from the goal line. Well, it's immaterial. There's an official timeout on the field. The score, the Packers 14, the Browns 13.
Well, Johnny Evans' punt officially 40 yards, and they ruled that the man who downed the ball, his foot was on the end line, and therefore the ball comes out to the 20 on a touchback. And the Packers, with a 14-13 lead, take over 1st and 10 from that point. 13:05 remaining in the ball game. And Cincinnati is leading Minnesota 14-0 in the 4th quarter. Anderson has thrown a 45-yard touchdown pass to Mike Bass. So the Browns really in need of a victory here today, or they'll slip into a tie for the cellar in the Central Division with Cincinnati.
All right, Lofton will be flanked to the right. Thompson split to the left. Packers starting on their own 20-yard line. They line up in the I formation. Lofton goes in motion to the left. Pitch. Ellis knocked down to the backfield. Middleton, rather. Knocked down by Clarence Scott back on the 17-yard line. Loss of 3. We have 12:49 to play in the game. Here comes Elvis Franks at defensive end. Marshall Harris is coming out. They're also sending Wilkinson in the line. They're pulling out Robert L. Jackson. 2nd down, 13. Dickey has a T behind him. Offside, Cleveland. And off on the draw to Ellis. He's to about the 19 to the 20-yard line, but the Browns were offside. Wilkinson jumped offside. Denver game, he did that 2 plays in a row.
Well, the Browns have made several costly errors today.
5-yard penalty. Puts the ball at the 22-yard line.
Instead of 2nd and 13, it'll be 2nd and 8.
Number 70 offside defense, still 2nd down.
Jackson's back in. Wilkinson comes off. 12:17 to play. Packers lead 14-13. Now the officials are having a discussion. It is 2nd down and 8.
Violate at the sideline, warning.
I don't know what he said.
Browns violated the sideline rule. Now we're getting another penalty added on. 15 yards. I don't believe it. I've never seen that called before. Out to the 37.
Let's get the call here.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Violated the 3 warnings on the sideline. First down.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, violating the sideline rule. I've never seen that called either.
The 6-foot restraining line, but both teams are always up in there somewhere.
Well, it's a 1st and 10 now. The ball at the 37-yard line of Green Bay.
That's what they call a chicken call, folks. Right, both ends are split. Slot back. Kaufman in motion to the right. Hand off. Middleton trying to turn right in. 40, 41-yard line. Robert Jackson and Charlie Hall knock him down. The gain is 4 yards. 2nd down and 6. If the Browns can do anything wrong now in the second half, they're doing it.
Clock is certainly in their favor at this point. The Browns cannot afford to let them control the ball in a sustained drive.
Well, the Packers just had 2 coaches standing in there. They still do. I don't understand the difference.
A little hard.
Packers have 2 coaches standing on that 6-foot restraining area. Lofton is split to the left. Here's the handoff. This one's to Ellis up the middle. He's up to the 46-yard line. He's going to be about a yard short of the first down. Alzado and Ambrose and Matthews on the tackle. Browns defense is starting to give a bit now on the runs. They're going to measure. Shouldn't be close. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Cleveland Browns Football Network. And the Browns are doing everything wrong. Offside, then a violation of the sideline rule against the Browns team. 15 yards. They had a personal foul a while ago that got them 15 yards closer to their first touchdown. That's what started the problem. Thompson is going to be split to the right. Lofton splits left. Kaufman, the tight ends, a slot to the left, goes in motion to the right. They're in the T. Hand off. Ellis, left end, 50, 45-yard line. Browns defense is giving now. That's a gain of almost 8 yards, about 7.5. Harris made the tackle.
Well, they're starting to move the ball both inside and outside against the Browns defense now on the run.
10 minutes to play. Packers lead by 1, and they have the ball. Nobody believed the Packers were an improved football team the last 3 weeks. Now they're proving it today again. They got off to a horrendous start. Lofton, split right, Thompson flank left. Fumble! Packers get the ball. It was Middleton who fumbled the handoff, and he fell on it at about the 45. So it's going to be 3rd down. Still about 3 to go. 9:25 to play. Now we're getting a timeout called by the officials for some reason. Somebody's shaken up for Green Bay, I believe. Yep. 16.
Injured player is Greg Koch. Tackle from Arkansas.
They put a rookie, Shanky, in to replace him.
3rd down and 3 yards to go for the Packers, and this is a crucial one for the defense.
4 Packers coaches are in that sideline restraining area now. The Browns were called for it. The Packers are not. Don't understand. 9:06 to play. 3rd down. Big 3rd down play. Thompson flank left. Lofton split to the right. Dickey to throw. Fires it right flat. Caught by Ellis. 45-40. First down. Breaks a tackle. Good. Finally rolls him out of bounds on about the 27-yard line. A big play for the Green Bay Packers. An 18-yard gain. They keep the ball, and they're knocking the seconds off the clock. Darden missed him, and Good made the tackle.
You could almost see that coming with Bart Starr on the sideline over there. Everybody expecting a run. Just a little safe flare pass out to the right. Big yardage after Ellis caught it.
Here come the Packers out of the huddle. Lofton split to the right. Thompson flank to the left. Kaufman is tight at left end. Now Middleton becomes, Kaufman becomes a slot back. Here's the pitch coming to Atkins. Right tackle to the 26. Got a yard. Maybe the 25. Henry Bradley, the nose tackle, made the stop. 8:37 to play. That clock is running, and the Browns offense can't get the ball.
Gib, I think we should point out here that the Browns can not afford to give up a touchdown. They can let Green Bay get a field goal, and a touchdown would still win it for the Browns. But if the Packers go in for a score here, then the Browns will be 11 points down, or more than a touchdown down, and they'd need a touchdown and a field goal.
Both ends split. Kaufman, the tight ends, a slot back. Handoff up the middle. Ellis is nailed at the 27-yard line by Jackson and Ambrose. Loss of a yard. Now it is third down at about 9. We're almost halfway through the fourth period. Another big third down play coming up. Elvis Franks coming into defensive end. Wilkinson's coming in the ball game.
Packers started this drive back on their 29 plays ago, and there was about 5 minutes left on the clock they've used up so far.
Both ends are split. And a slot back to the right. Timeout called by Lynn Dickey. There's an official timeout on the field. The score, Green Bay 14, Cleveland 13. Well, we are exactly halfway through the fourth quarter, 7.5 minutes left. Lynn Dickey was slow getting the play call. When he came out of the huddle, he was up to the center with 2 seconds left on the huddle clock. That's one reason he called the timeout. Probably the main reason to avoid the penalty. He has a third down and 9. The ball is on the Browns' 26-yard line, and he leads over the Browns 14-13. Bart Starr, you can bet, gave him the play when he went to the sidelines. Thompson, flank to the right. Lofton is split 4 to the left. They're in the T. Kaufman's tied it right in. Big play for the Browns defense. Dickey back to throw. They got a blitz on. He fires deep in the middle. It is touchdown. He caught it, Lofton, and he fires the ball up into the crowd. What a catch by Lofton. They had coverage by Burrell right on top of him, and he still grabbed the ball. And now the Browns are in trouble.
Well, that play covers 26 yards for a touchdown, and that's what we said that the Browns had to disallow here this late in the ballgame. Lofton, who was shut out in the first half, has really come on strong. He caught one pass in the first half for about 9 yards. He now has 5 receptions for 85 yards, and of course that touchdown, which gives the Browns a little over 7 minutes to go, and they're going to need a touchdown and a field goal now to win this ball game.
If he makes it. Tom Burney, left-footed kicker, ready. Snap is a little high. Kick is up. Ooh, he just got it through on a line drive. There's an official timeout on the field with the score, the Packers 21, the Browns 13.
We need to make a correction for you. We said that Lofton had caught one in the first half for 9 yards. It was for 12 yards, and he now has 6 receptions for 111 yards. So 99 yards receiving in the second half alone. And he has picked on Clinton Burrell a couple of times on key passes, completed them both, but a lot of the credit has to go to Lofton. Burrell had pretty good coverage both times, and Lofton just made sensational catches. 80 yards in 10 plays, the Packers, and they used about 5.5 minutes on the clock.
7:23 to play. Browns need 2 touchdowns to win it. Kick is going to Dino Hall at the 7. 10. 20, broke a tackle, 25, down at the 30, 31 almost. Good return of about 24 yards by Dino Hall. Marked at the 31-yard line. Tackle made by Mike Jolly and by Andra Thompson.
Tell you what, Gib, I'll take a field goal and a touchdown.
Got a flag dropped. I think Packers were offside on the kickoff. They were.
Green Bay 62, offside on the kick, penalty refused.
Well, the Browns are satisfied with a return yardage out to the 31. They refuse the penalty.
Now they're talking to him again. They're trying to change their minds.
I think I probably would.
Can't change your mind.
No.
Once you make a decision, that's it.
7 minutes and 13 seconds remaining, and the Browns are down 21-13 after leading until about midway through the third period.
Rucker will be the flanker to the left. Logan splits 7 to the right. Newsom tight at left end. They're in the T. Back to throw it. Pass to Calvin Hill. Got it. 50, 45, 40, 35. Broke a tackle. 30, 25. Calvin Hill's out of bounds. All the way down to the Green Bay 19-yard line. What a run by Calvin Hill.
He fought off tacklers after he made the reception and picked up about 20 big yards just from the experience and the know-how that is inside that helmet he wears. What a sensational play following the reception. He was wide open, and then he just fought off guys. One cut back to the inside, fought his way around another man, and picked up about 20 yards on his own.
O'Neal and Hood made the tackle, 50 yards. I don't know how he stayed in bounds. He was tiptoeing all the way down the sidelines while he was getting away from the Packers. Browns are coming back. They're on the 19-yard line of Green Bay. Logan split 3 to the right. Rucker flanked to the left. They're in the T. White's the halfback now. Brian Sipe throws it. Newsom's open. Touchdown! 2 plays. The Browns go 69 yards.
Was that something? 69 yards, 2 plays. Calvin Hill and Ozzie Newsome, the 2 receivers, and the Browns are right back in it.
Well, it took the Browns 28 seconds of playing time to score. Don't forget the pretty good return there by Dino Hall. Now McDonald holding for Don Cockcroft's point try. 6:55 to play. Browns at this moment trail by 2. Snap, spot, kicks up. It is good. There's an official timeout on the field. The score, the Packers 21, the Browns 20.
Well, the fans are alive again here at Cleveland Stadium. The Browns went 69 yards on the arm of Brian Sipe and the hands and feet of Ozzie Newsome and Calvin Hill. A 50-yard completion to Hill, who did a super job of tightrope walking and staying in bounds along the sideline, and then 19 yards for the TD to Newsome. And the point after made it 21-20. The Browns trail, but now there's 6 minutes and 55 seconds left in the game. Plenty of time. And Brian Sipe is 314 yards passing on the afternoon.
Packers expecting an onside. They have only Thompson in single safety. Here's the kick. It's well hit by Cockcroft. Thompson's chasing it. He's got it on the 2. Goes back to the end zone. He's out to the 5. He's to the 10. He is going to be nailed out of bounds on about the 16-yard line. Well, the Browns have come to life. Odom is the man who made the tackle. The fans are starting to chant defense, defense. 75,000 plus have come to life on the 2 touchdowns, on the 2 big plays, Calvin Hill and Ozzie Newsome. Jim said the fans are alive, the Hills are alive. That's terrible, isn't it? Just terrible.
Not too bad. It's cold, eh?
Packers huddling back on about the 5-yard line. 6:45 to play. Browns trail by 1. Lofton is split to the left. Thompson flanked to the right. They're in the T. Dickey back, throws it out to Lofton at the 22. He's to the 25 and out of bounds. At about the 26-yard line, Burrell covering. Clinton has no choice choice. He's got to give him the short stuff. He can't allow that long one.
Well, they used that pass right there just to set it up. He picked up 10 yards and a first down. Because if Clinton decides to come up and play him too tight, we have seen what he can do so far. He's up to 121 yards now in receiving.
6:40 to play. First down at the 26. Packers trying to come out. Lofton split to the right. Thompson split to the left. Kaufman, the tight end, the slot back on the right side. The line up of the eye. Kaufman goes in motion to the left. Pitch comes tailback Middleton. Knocked down by Henry Bradley for a yard. Gain at the 27-yard line. Good play by Henry Bradley. Controlled the center, McCarron, very well and made the tackle.
Another key, too, at this point, the Packers have only 2 timeouts remaining, and it may come down to where that's a factor.
I hope so.
Well, you and me both. I can tell you 43 other guys that do, too.
Brown's first thing now is to get the ball back. Both ends are split. Kaufman's a slot to the left. They're in the T. Kaufman in motion to the right. Dickey back to throw. Fires to, again, Lofton got it down at the 42, first down. Oh, he's something. Burrell made the tackle with Darden, 15 yards.
One thing he does very well, and that is that he catches errant passes. He can snag them. He's like Logan. He's got those sure hands, and even when the ball's off target, he can go up and get it.
5:39 to play. Browns need something to happen.
Ivory returned to kickoff 98 yards for a touchdown, and it is New England 24-21 in the third quarter over Baltimore.
Lofton split to the left. Thompson flanked to the right. They're in the T. Hand off. Comes to the fullback Atkins. He's knocked down at the 43-44 by Lyle Alzado. Gains about 2. Well, now the Browns are shutting off the runs pretty well, but they can't stop Lofton. Of course, nobody stops him very well. He's one of the premier receivers in the NFL. Browns fans don't hear much about him because he's in the National Conference.
Well, he's averaged 14.5 yards per reception this year, and he caught 24 coming into this ball game. He's caught 8 here.
He is split to the left. Thompson's flanked to the right. Thompson goes in motion to the left. Hand off. Tackle in the backfield by Robert L. Jackson. He nailed Middleton, trying to turn right in back at the 39-yard line. He blitzed through for a 5-yard loss.
What a super play by Robert L. Jackson. He's the spiritual leader of this defense, and there's the reason why. A tremendous play.
Now the Browns go to 4 defensive linemen and 5 defensive backs.
Ellis tried to pick him up that time on the blitz and just absolutely went right under him.
Third down and 13. Clock is running. 4 minutes, 6 seconds to play. Browns trail by 1. Lofton will be a split to the left. And Thompson's going to be also flanked to the left. Hand off up the middle. Ellis to the 45-50. He's got a first down as he's knocked down on the 46-yard line of Green Bay. A great call on a draw play. Scott made the tackle, and the Browns were caught sleeping 15 yards. A big, big play.
I think that time that Lynn Dickey read what was happening with the Browns defense, Tom Darden pulled right out of the spot where the play subsequently went. Ellis just cut it back to the outside. Darden had been there seconds before and had went into his drop 15 yards.
That was a 3rd and 13 play. We have 3:15 remaining. Harris back in a defensive end for the Browns. Both ends are split. Pitch to Atkins, right end. He's hit at the 44-yard line, maybe the 43-yard line of the Browns. Hall, Alzado, and Jackson made the tackle. Gain of 3. Well, the first down plays aren't hurting the Browns. The second down ones aren't very much. The third down plays are killing them in the second half.
Well, Green Bay has come back now. They have 6 of 11 third down conversions.
Middleton has gone out of the ball game.
Jaworski has thrown a touchdown pass, and Philadelphia late in the 4th leads Dallas 17-10.
Eddie Lee Ivory's back at halfback. Both ends are split. Ivory, he slipped, he got hit, and he is stopped at the line of scrimmage. He slipped with him before he got the ball, and Robert L. Jackson nailed him. No gain. 2:10 remaining. Timeout called by the Browns to stop the clock. 2 minutes, 10 seconds to play. It is 21-20 Green Bay. It is third down, about 7 yards to go. And again, one of those crucial third down plays which the Packers have been converting in the second half.
Browns will have 2 timeouts remaining, and of course the clock will stop again with a 2-minute warning. Browns have got time. They showed you what they could do a while ago. 69 yards in 2 plays for a touchdown, and they only used 28 seconds. But you can't do anything until you get the ball back.
Packers have converted 4 out of 7 in the third down plays in the second half.
They were only, 2 out of 6?
2 out of 5.
2 out of 5 in the first half. They have really come back, and it have been big plays all the way here in the second half.
Bengals won.
14-0 over Minnesota. Pittsburgh, of course, plays Oakland tomorrow night. That game in Pittsburgh. Houston today is playing Tampa Bay in the Astrodome. That ball game should be getting underway shortly.
The Packers are really caught up. Now they've run 1 less play than the Browns. 59-58.
Len Dickey has come on strong in the second half. 17 of 21 for 230 yards. He's been intercepted twice, but those came in the first half. He is got his team now into the Browns territory. The ball at the 43-yard line of Cleveland, and he has a 3rd and 7.
Here we go. Lofton, split left. Thompson, split right. Kaufman, the tight end, slot right. Pitch to Ivory, right tackle. 40, down on about the 37. He's going to be about a yard short of the first down, and they're going to send in what? The field goal or punting unit? They're going to punt it. Ambrose, Jackson, and Bolton on the tackle. And if I were Bart Starr, I'd do exactly what he's going to do now. He's going to just kick the ball and see if the defense can hold on.
Well, we're not sure that he hasn't got something up his sleeve either.
They spot the ball on the 38-yard line. They're 2 yards short. That was a 6-yard gain. Down to the 2-minute warning. There's an official timeout on the field. The score, the Packers 21, the Browns 20.
Punting unit on the field for Green Bay. The ball at the Cleveland 43-yard line. 2 minutes left in the ball game. Browns trailing 21-20.
Let's see if they do punt it. Keith Wright's the single safety. Beverly's the kicker. 2 minutes to play. Browns down by 1 point. There's the snap. Beverly kicks the ball. Keith Wright calls for the fair catch and holds it at the 12. Browns are 88 yards away from a score if they get a touchdown, but they need a field goal to go ahead. 26-yard punt. No return, and now the Browns fans are up, standing and cheering for the offense to move that football. Last time they needed 2 plays to go 69 yards. The ball is going to be placed at the 13-yard line, so they're 87 yards away, but they are a field goal away from taking the lead. They have 3 timeouts left and 1 minute 53 seconds to play. Here we go. Newsom's tied it right in. Rucker's flanked to the right. Logan splits about 8 yards to the left. Calvin Hill's the halfback. They're in the tee. Sipe to throw. Caught by Calvin Hill to 20, 25, down and about the 28 and the first down. They have 2 timeouts left. I beg your pardon. They took one earlier. Douglas and Jolly made the tackle, 15 yards. Browns going without a huddle. Minute 33 to play. Logan split left. Newsom tied it right in. Rucker flanked to the right. They're in the tee. Sipe back to throw again. running up the middle. He's going to run with it to the 30, and he does a slide down on about the 37. He's about 9 yards on the play and a yard short of the first down. Not a good slide by Bryant, but he made 9 yards, and he calls timeout. Tackle by Gray and Jones.
I'm not so sure he called timeout or he said we want a measurement. And if he did not call timeout, that's a very smart move.
That's not a timeout. They just wanted to get the ball placed. I thought he called time. He calls the play quickly. They're up on the line. Minute 10 to play. Logan split left. Rucker flanked right. Newsom tight end right end. They're in the T. Hand off. Mike Pruitt up the middle. He's to the 40, to the 45. He's to the 49-yard line. First down, Cleveland. A good run by Mike Pruitt. 12 yards. And now the Browns call time. 56 seconds to play. The ball is up to the Cleveland. Make it the 48-yard line. Anderson on the tackle.
Well, they're going to run the ball, obviously, try to maintain possession and move into position for a field goal should they not be able to get a touchdown. 56 seconds remaining in the ball game, and it is coming down to the wire in this one.
Mike Pruitt's up to 48 yards. He's the leading ground gainer. Ellis is 44 for the Packers.
Gib, this has been a very, very physical ball game, to say the least. And, of course, the Steelers come to town next Sunday. The Browns are going to have to regroup. And at this point, who would you say is our Browns Chevy man of the game?
I think we ought to wait.
I think we're going to have to. Brian Sipe cleaning the mud off his shoes now. He has had his conference with Sam Ratigliano on the sidelines. He goes back into the huddle. The Browns have the ball at their own 49-yard line. Well, let's make it the 48. See, the ball's touching the 48. First and 10, 56 seconds remaining in the game. And the Browns have only one timeout remaining.
Here we go. Logan split right. Newsom tight end left end. Rucker flank to the left. They're in the T. Sight back to throw. Over the middle. Caught by Calvin Hill to the 40 of the Packers. He's out of bounds on the 36-yard line of Green Bay. Calvin Hill on the catch by Brian Sipe, 16 yards. Clock stops. 49 seconds to play.
Gib, I'm not so sure that we could maybe go to Calvin Hill real quick as our Chevy man of the game, but then you got to go to Brian Sipe as well. So maybe those two guys are going to have to give away 2 dinners this week.
I'll tell you what, I think I'll vote for Sipe. He's 22 out of 36, no interceptions, 1 touchdown, 345 yards, and he's playing with a bad left knee.
And don't forget the big run of 24 yards.
49 seconds to play. Rucker flank right. Newsom out a yard at right end. Logan splits 5 yards to the left. They're in the T. Browns trail by a point. Sipe back to throw. Flush to the right. Brian's running again. Flag's down. He's to the 25, and he does a slide at the 23. We got a flag down. We may have holding against the Browns. It is. That's going to nullify a big run by Brian Sipe.
Oh, that has happened today 3 or 4 times on key plays, and Brian is still down, getting up very slowly. And it would appear that at this point it's his left arm that seems to be bothering him, but he appears to be shaking it off and be all right.
He's hanging in there. That nullifies a 14-yard run. Ball goes back to the 46 of Green Bay. 42 seconds to play.
63 offense, holding.
Cody Rison got caught.
Worse than that, it takes you back further away from field goal range, which at this point would win the game for the Browns.
Yeah, but they should have time for 4 or 5 plays. They have a timeout left. They have 42 seconds. They can get out of bounds to stop the clock.
First down and 20 yards to go.
Oh, it's time to get nervous. Rucker flank left, Newsom tight at left end. Logan splits 7 to the right. They're in the T. Brian Sipe back to throw. Throws it. Logan. Incomplete. He trapped the ball in the 24. They rule it trap. He's not arguing very much with him. That ball was inches from being caught, but it was not. It is second down and 20. 34 seconds to play.
Logan was open. Brian just did not get enough on the ball to get it to him that time. Clock down to 34 seconds, and the Cardiac Kids are at work today.
34 seconds left. We owe you a station break after this play if we can. Rucker flank left, Logan split to the right, Newsom tight at left end. They're in the tee. Sipe to throw on second down. He's flushed out of the pocket. He's being chased. He's hit as he throws. It is incomplete.
Boy, he really got hammered that time from the blind side. Didn't see it coming.
We're going to pause, Jim, get one in here. We pause for station identification. This is the Cleveland Browns Football Network.
We're the home of the Browns. WHK Cleveland.
25 seconds remaining on the clock. It is now 3rd down and 20. And Brian got away with something that time. It could have been intentional grounding. The official didn't call it. Here we go.
Mike Pruitt's in at halfback. They make Greg Pruitt's at halfback. Mike Pruitt's the fullback. Both ends are split. Rucker slot to the right. 3rd and 20. Sipe looking, throwing to Logan. He got it on the 20. 10, 5, touchdown, Dave Logan! Touchdown by Dave Logan, 46 yards. I don't believe it.
Brian Sipe through the paw. Dave Logan made an outstanding move on the defender. He was covered. He came back for the football and caught it. Touchdown, Browns. 16 seconds remaining. What a play!
If that ball had not been underthrown, it would not have been a touchdown.
That's why I say Dave Logan made a tremendous play on that ball.
The Browns have taken the lead with 16 seconds to play, and Brian Sipe gets the Chevy man. You don't disagree with that one, do you?
No way in the world would I disagree with that. I'll tell you one thing. Logan was covered. He came back for the underthrown football, and then he just outran the defender. And the defender was Mark Lee. And here's Cockcroft to try the point after. 87 yards, 7 plays.
McDonald holding. The kick is up. It's no good.
Who cares?
Well, the Browns have taken now a lead. 27 to 21. That point really doesn't mean anything.
You know, you almost have to feel sorry for Bart Starr and the Packers in this case. They had a great afternoon, especially in the second half, to pull out in front of the Browns, who led 13-0 at halftime. And the Browns, with 25 seconds left on the clock, were facing a 3rd and 20 situation. They were out of field goal range. They trailed in the ball game, and Brian Sipe has thrown for 391 yards on the afternoon, and he's our Browns Chevy man of the game. And what a pass and what a catch by Dave Logan, who was well covered by the receiver, Mark Lee, but he saw the ball was somewhat underthrown. He made a great move to keep Lee going toward the goal line, and then he came back himself to make the catch and outran Lee into the end zone. 46 yards on the touchdown play.
Just take out any holding penalty, and he would have been over 400 yards. He also ran twice for 33. He had one run of 14 yards called back. He's playing with the bandage on his bruised ribs that he got in this game. He's got a band on his left arm, a support bandage. That elbow's hurting him, and he's got a brace on his left knee. He can win all the dinners in the world he wants today.
He's the bionic man today.
Unbelievable show by Brian Sipe. Here's the kick by Cockcroft, taken at the 17-yard line. And down on the 28, that's McCoy. And Dino Hall makes the tackle. 13 seconds to play. The Browns defense, the backs especially, all they have to do is retreat to the goal line and stay there. 11-yard return. But the play that won the ball game was an underthrown pass that Logan curled around behind the defender. The defender didn't see it. Didn't even come close to touching him. Unbelievable play. All right, Dickey's going to stick it in the air for 2 or 3 plays, and that'll be it. Lofton in motion to the right. Got 3 men out of the right side now. There's the pass to Lofton. Up in the air, it is intercepted by Jackson on the 44. He's running to the right. 2 seconds, it's over. And he's down on the 49. The ball game is over. The 3rd interception of the ball game, and Robert L. Jackson grabbed it. It was deflected twice. Intended for Lofton. You can restart their hearts.
Gib, I tell you, Jackson, after he caught the ball, had his eyes on the stopwatch the whole way. He wanted to run the clock out.
Final score at Cleveland today, unbelievable finish. The Browns 26, the Packers 21. Brian Sipe put on one show today that the fans won't forget for a long time, even in fickle Cleveland. Brian Sipe today ran up 387 yards in the air. This is a quarterback who had his knee hurt last week, who did not practice Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. He stepped on the field yesterday here at the stadium for their short loosening up workout, threw the ball, tested his knee, said it was okay. They decided this afternoon before the game that he was moving on it all right, that he could start the ball game, at least start it. Well, he did it. He threw 2 touchdown passes in the fourth quarter to pull the Browns from a 21-13 deficit to a 26-21 win, and put on an unbelievable show today before 75,000 fans at Cleveland Stadium. Our thanks to our spotters, Paul Patrick and Bob Brady, our statistician Dick Goddard, our booth attendant Addie Pappas, Gib Shanley speaking for Jim Mueller, and our engineer-producer Art Greenberg from Cleveland. This broadcast came to you through the authority of the Cleveland Browns and the National Football League. Announcers on the Cleveland Browns Network are selected by WHK Radio in Cleveland. Any rebroadcast or other use of the play-by-play description without the expressed written consent of the Cleveland Browns or the National Football League is prohibited.